Welcome, everyone, to Chirping Zebras. Mark Riley alongside Gino Binder Jr. Coming to you always from AOA Studios in Beverly, the best place to tape anything you want to tape. And before we get into things, I want to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease, your one-stop shop for all your refereeing needs. And tonight, we're going to jump right into it because we have a very special guest. And it's cool for me because I've introduced him before during comedy shows. And I always say he's one of my comedy idols, and I mean it. And he's one of the nicest people I know, not only in the business, but out of the business. And you'd recognize him from multiple movies, multiple TV shows. He's played everywhere you can name throughout the world. And we're happy to have him here right in Beverly on the Chirping Zebras. Welcome, my good friend, Lenny Clark.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Gino. Thanks to all the crew. I can honestly say this is the most exciting show I've ever done in my life. And I've worked in Southie.
Southie. Love it.
Gino,
I was just telling the story when we saw you down the Cape. We're whatever, kicking down the Cape, playing some mini golf. We see a big sign, Lenny Clark. I'm like, he's hilarious. Let's go see him. And, we're sitting there with our girlfriends who are now our wives. And, my buddy Sweeney always busts my balls because I can't keep my mouth shut. So you mentioned Salty, and I knew it. I go, there's my in. I go, Salty! I just yell it just like that. And you just hammered me for the next half hour. My buddy sucking me right in the arm. He's like, you're a dick. He goes, now we're going to be the brunt of the joke for the next fucking half hour.
Oh, my. I got a story. Yeah, I can tell because the statute of limitations is up, and my buddy, he's dead. We went over to Southie one night, very late, and we went to this apartment, and we're in there, and it was really wild. It says, have a drink, do a line, smoke a joint, and take one of these pills. It was a bowl full of pills. And then I see a pill, I raise you 2 pills. And, so he gets on the phone and he calls the White House and he's screaming, I want the president, I want him now. And I go, hey man, you can't do that. You can't even do that. Like if you had something good. He goes, I'm so sick of this. Well, about an hour later, the whole street is lit up with red lights and blue lights, and I'm going, what? Do I open the window? I go, oh my God. And they are dragging a family in the pajamas out of the house and putting them into paddy wagons. I'm going, oh shit. He goes, evidently the phone wires had been crossed. That and across the street. So they were getting it from that house.
Oh, that's excellent.
And I'm going, oh my. And I'm with maybe 5 comedians who I won't name because they're still alive. And I saw that and I panicked. I go, they're going to figure this out. They're the FBI, ATF. And so I leap off the back porch and climb a fence, and I go around all the way down, and I end up in some bar. I don't even know the name of it, but it was like an offshoot of that street. And I just sat in there, and I went, I've got to get help. Pretty crazy.
Oh, that's a great one.
Now, I wore a special T-shirt tonight. This T-shirt I got at Dennis Leary's Fall Classic, the street hockey tournament that Dennis Leary ran at his house every year down in Roxbury, Connecticut.
Yeah.
He's since sold it.
Yeah.
But he used to have this big street hockey tournament. And they used to make shirts up. So we got the shirt, the hockey shed, and it's the Fall Classic. Well, when I go down there, I see a sign, and you see the Lenny Clark Ice Arena. Right? So the ice arena, Dennis Leary had a legit hockey rink in his backyard.
With sheds, and it was just amazing.
That's awesome.
I think he had like 250 acres down there.
Oh, yeah.
His wife had the horses.
Horses galloping.
They redone this whole barn. It was gorgeous. And the Sports Illustrated said to him, who's Lenny Clark? He's a dear friend. We'll never have anything named after him. So I wanted to do this.
That's what he told me. He said, because he goes, well, and this was back when you were big.
Oh.
Right? I mean, you were big.
Well, people should know I topped out at 388 pounds.
Wow.
I was so fat, my wife said, you could start fucking other people. Yeah, I was big. I was breaking furniture, a lot, bad.
Wow. So he said that was back when Len was big, and I thought he was going to die soon. So I wanted to name something after him.
That son of a bitch, he's a genius. He's in Ireland right now filming some movie, and he just filmed a movie with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh,
We played
nice.
her husband, and David Lynch comes out. Not David Lynch. Oh, God. I should know the guy's name. David Kelly.
Okay.
Thank God. Maybe he won't see this. But David Kelly, when he saw us on the Red Sox one night, he called me up. He said, Lenny, this is Lenny. He goes, this is David Kelly. I go, oh, fuck you. And I hung up. He calls back and says, Lenny, it's really David Kelly. I go, the David Kelly? I've been waiting to work for you for 30 years. He says, well, I have a show for you I'd like to do. I go, I'll take it. He said, well, we'll work out the details. There's no details to be worked out. I'm working with you. So we flew out and we did this show, Life on Mars. And it was a show that was taken for a big English hit and it became an American. He wrote it. It was fantastic. I played this detective and they started firing people. And they fired him, and I went, what? He's the greatest. Well, I don't want to be here if he's not here.
Right.
They go, no, we love you. And I go, well, you fired the girl. And he go, yeah. And then you fired the other guy. I go, well, you're going to why don't you find me now so I can maybe get another show before the end of pilot season? No, we love you. I said, do you love me not to fire me? They go, well, we don't know. And next day, fired. And it was wild because on the show, it was a period piece, so I'm smoking cigars. And the guy said, Lenny, what kind of cigars do you like? I says, I love Chateau Fuentes, Natural. It's Cuban seed, Dominican wrap, with a little piece of, my mind's gone, but a wrap, a cedar wrap. And I went, wow. And it's a great cigar. And they went out and got me a box, so I'm smoking. And this little guy comes out of nowhere. And he goes, Mr. Clark, yeah. Are you enjoying the cigars? Yeah. Well, that will be your last one because due to California law, we cannot smoke on set. They have to be fake cigars. And I went, fake cigars? I said, okay, let me take a look at it. He goes, perfect. It looked just like the real one. I just kept, is that a real cigar? No, it's the fake one you gave me.
And you had the real one.
I had the real one. Yeah.
Yeah, the smoke's fake, too.
David Kelly did Mystery Alaska. One of the
most
great
amazing
hockey movies.
But one of the most amazing opening
scene.
Oh. I go, I wish I could skate. I'd go there right now. That was the most beautiful opening.
Oh, it's
and
so
a great
cool.
movie.
Great movie.
But, I mean, he wrote, L.A. Law, Boston Legal, Boston Public. I mean, and I never could get an audition with him. And then he calls me, and I'm going, I'm working with David. Flies in. Lenny, I'm so happy you're here. I can't believe you. I said, yeah, it's me. I'm more happy than you. If this is a fun contest, you lose, And I saw him skate at the LA Forum because he's in that celebrity team.
Yeah.
And we met in one of the fancy rooms. I said, can I meet your wife? And he goes, you know how many people ask me that? And I go, everyone. I said, I bet you there's never been anyone. It's good for you. I'm happy. And she was so nice, so sweet. So Dennis said, David Kelly came to see me. He asked me how you were doing. I go, he's still alive. I go, I love him. I go, I love him more. I got to get in touch with him. So if you're out there, you know David Kelly's address. Let me know. I'll drop him a correspondence.
I actually called his office because I get the movie, The Penalty Box, that I wrote.
Yep.
And I, being a hockey guy, I said, he'd love this.
Right.
So I called up just out of the blue
Right.
and got, a secretary or something. And she, she listens to what I'm saying. And then she goes, so are you represented by anyone? And I go, no. She goes,
Hollywood.
well, we don't, he won't look at anything unless you're represented by someone. I go, does it have to be someone real? she goes, yeah, it does. I go, all right, I'll call you back.
I'll get back to you.
And that was it. I never got the script to him, but I still say he'd love it. He'd love
You're
it.
going to lie your ass off.
When I was out, when I first went out to LA, I went out with the show, and it was great. Oh my God, it was amazing. I had lost 40 pounds before I showed up in a set, and they go, what have you done? I go, what do you mean? I lost 40 pounds. Don't I look great? We don't want you to look great. We want you fat like Roseanne. We want we want a big fat guy like you are on stage. I go, oh. So they hired a pastry chef, and they would big banana cream pies, eclairs.
Did you eat?
They made me eat every day, and they they gave me an assistant. You know, the first time you ever get an assistant, it's wild. You know, he said, "What do you want, Mr. Clark?" I go, "You know what I want? I want you to go to my dressing room and take a nap. I'm good. I don't need anything. I got to read this. You can read lines with me later, but I got to go do this." He goes, "I can't. You're my assistant, right?" He goes, "But I've got to do. You know, you got to do whatever I say, right?" Yeah. I said, "Go get me a cheesesteak sub." And in L.A., they don't have. They're not made.
No.
You know? So this kid drove. He came back 3 weeks, 3 days, no, 3 hours later. Mr. Clark, I couldn't find one. I go, "Relax, take a nap. You're probably tired from all that driving." But it was so
You wouldn't take a nap. No, you mentioned the Red Sox.
Yeah.
When you went on the Red Sox with Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
One of the greatest moments, I think, on a Red Sox broadcast when you were with him and talking about Kevin Youkilis.
Yeah.
And
Oh, my
finding
God.
out he was Jewish.
Well, you know what? Yeah, right. Yeah. And so we started that day at 6 a.m. with some local news and Nesson and Nesson. And it was the end of the day. And he said, "You got anything left in you, big man?" I go, "Yeah, come on, we'll be fine." So we go with Jerry and Donasillo and Jerry Remy. The minute I walk in the door, he starts laughing. I go, "It's so funny, Jerry." He goes, "I just can't believe." You know, I look at you and I break out laughing. I go, "Yeah, that's really good to hear." A lot of chicks are knocking, people over to get to me. So we do that, and I'll never forget. I said, Euclid, is that Greek? Or I forget what I said. "No, I think he's a Jew." "He's a Jew?" Yeah. And so now it takes off. And we're going. And I leave the booth. I step outside, and there's John Henry. And I go, "Too much, John?" He goes, "Lenny, I can't describe it." So,
Because you went off on Mel Gibson.
yo.
that just happened.
Yeah.
So I go, my mother was still alive. I go by the house the next day. She says, "Leonard, oh my God, I watched you on the Red Sox game. Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you?" And she goes, "Did you upset the Jews?" I go, "No, the Jews love me. It's Mel Gibson that hates me." Oh my God. So I see Euclid. I'm with my wife having dinner. And Euclid is in the restaurant. And he comes over, he says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I go, "Oh, no." He goes, I bum me out. He goes, "Are you kidding me? You made me a household name." I just want to shake your hand. I go, "Oh, thanks. You can. Now we're good friends,
Oh, that's awesome.
But it was insane. I mean, the people that I've met over the years, because I've been almost 50 years now, and this is the mountaintop. The Chirping Zebras. I am so.
You made it now.
Yes,
yeah,
I
you finally
do.
made
Yes,
it.
Well, hey, it's the one you're doing now, right? So
It's the next one.
Yeah. So this is the best
You're
one
only as
yet.
good as your last podcast.
So you check off your community service hours. You do a debt to society. You're all right.
Spoken like a true Southern kid who knows about that.
Oh my God. I went out with this girl. I'm going to tell anyway. I went out with this girl, and she was sweet and sexy and everything, and I won't mention her name. And she was married to an NHL referee. And going at it one night, she goes, "Oh, I love having sex with you." I said, "You do?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "Tell me what you like most about it." He says, "Well, my husband was an NHL free, and he had a giant cock." And I go, "Yeah." And he hurt me. I looked at her, I go, "I'll never hurt you." Yeah, I don't know where that relationship went sideways.
It took a left turn.
Nice girl. Great girl.
They're scrapping.
No. One thing that everyone's talking about lately, because the Patriots let him go, Bill Belichick.
Oh,
And, some say what you want about him as far as, his personality and this and that. Of course, now he's showing his real personality.
Yeah.
And you've known him for years.
Insta-face.
And you've always said he's not the guy on the press conference.
Right.
And I would tell you, I said, "Mark, this guy's so funny." I mean, Belichick is a genius and one of the greatest actors I've ever seen in my life. We'd be in his room, and they go, "Okay, Bill, ready for your press conference?" He goes, So he goes out, he does it. He comes back, and he goes, "Fooled him again."
Funny, we say that after games.
He is just so such an amazing guy. Oh God, he calls me up. He says, "You in New York?" I go, "Yeah." "You filming?" "Yeah." He goes, "You want to go to dinner?" I said, "Sure."
That's unbelievable.
He said, "Well, why don't you meet me at the Capitol Grill?" I says, "All right." So I it was cold, and I had this green fluffy jacket, and I'm fat at the time, really fat, obese, morbidly obese, and we go in, and the maitre d' comes over. "Oh my God, Coach Belichick, Coach Parcells, I'm so excited to hear." And I'm bullshit. Hey, I am not Bill Parcells.
Oh, that's incredible.
So then they take us to the middle of the restaurant. Everyone's looking. Oh my God. And so the guy comes over with like a $700 bottle of wine. He goes, "Please, Coach, big sip. My apologies." And Bill takes a sip. He goes, "He's Parcells." And then Bill comes to the set the next day, and Dennis is in the makeup chair, and he's got a mirror in front of him. He goes, "Is that Bill Belichick with Lenny?" He goes, he takes the thing and runs over. "Bill Belichick." I go, "Dennis, please, he's my friend." So he says, "Bill, do you want to be in the show?" And Bill looks at me and I go, "Yes, he does." And he did it. He did the show. And I go, "It's unbelievable." He goes, "What am I going to do to get a SAG card?" I go, "Don't worry about that. Let's get this." But he did a scene with Phil Esposito.
That's super cool.
Great. It was good. I said, "You like sports?" He goes, "I'm really into lacrosse."
Loves his lacrosse.
Yeah.
No, you tell a story about him wanting you to come to Gillette to give the team a
Oh,
talk.
mother of God.
It's one of the best stories ever.
Love this.
The thing is, I've done a few podcasts, and people always call the podcast and say, "I like him, but he's full of shit." And they go, "Oh, no." Or even Rogan goes, "Oh, no. Everything he's done, it's not been alone. It's verified by many people." So John Henry called me up one night and said, "Hey, I have a friend that's dying to meet you." I go, "Really?" And I'm thinking, probably another billionaire, because I have 5 billionaires in my phone that call me, and I can call them back. I mean, granted, I'm their personal joke monkey, but I don't give a shit. I go on their jets, their yachts, and I went out with one of my billionaire friends. We had 13 people. The dinner bill was $42,000, and I said, "Let me get that." And I said, "Really?" And I said, "No, I'm not getting that. Are you fucking eating shit? I don't even know what it is. I'll pick up the parking." So anyway, he says, "I have a friend who's dying to meet you." And I go, "Bill, John's got a friend dying to meet you. This is exciting." "Yeah, will you come by the ballpark tomorrow night?" I said, "Yeah," because me and my wife used to double date with John and his first wife, Peggy. Beautiful, nice lady, and they broke up. They got divorced, and my wife says, "Who are we gonna go with?" I go, "Who do you think? We're going with the billionaire." I love Peggy, but she's not gonna get us Yankees tickets. So now he calls me up. He says, "Will you come by?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Can you come by the game tomorrow night?" I go, "Hey, honey, we're going to the game tomorrow night." She goes in the kitchen. She goes, "Oh my God, they're playing the Yankees." I went, "See?" So now we go. I take the truck. We go. We're in the Players parking lot, and then they take us up to John's booth, and there's 2 bartenders, 2 waitresses. There's a guy shucking oysters, another guy carving meat, and there's a tall, thin guy standing next to this gray unit that's about this tall. And I walk over, "Hey man, what's up with that?" He goes, "Oh, that's a pants presser, sir." And I go, "A pants presser?" I start taking my pants off. My wife, Lenny! I go, "Well, you ruined all my fun." Jesus, I want to look good. Look at John's crease. You could cut a sandwich on that. So now we're beating the Yankees like 7-2, 7-3, I forget. And he comes in with his friend. He goes, "Lenny, this is my friend who's been dying to meet you, Steve Martin, Lenny Clark." Lenny Clark, Steve Martin. I go, "Steve Martin?" I go, "Oh my God, this is even better than your dreams, So we start talking, and I mention his artwork because he's got an incredible collection of art. I mean, he's got like a Rembrandt and a Van Gogh and all the big. I don't know much about art, so I went to one of his showings, and it was at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, and the Rembrandt was over near the door, and I go, I could grab that and go through that door. This is before we met. I didn't know him at the time, and I would have screwed everything up. Plus the alarm would have went off. They would have got me, and crazed man steals Rembrandt. So we're talking, and the phone goes off, and I pick it up. It's Bill Belichick. He goes, is that Bill Belichick, the coach? And I go, yeah. He goes, shouldn't you take the call? I go, nah, he's needy. He's a needy guy. Always needs
Wait
something.
a minute, is there another Bill Belichick? Like, is that Bill Belichick, the coach?
The coach, yeah.
No, it's my uncle's friend.
Yeah. So I put it back in my pocket, and we're talking. He goes, geez, Lenny, I can't believe you didn't take his call. I go, we've been friends 25 years. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to him later. Phone goes off again. He goes, it's Belichick. He goes, Lenny, I don't feel comfortable you not taking that call because Steve Martin's a totally class guy. And I said, yeah, Steve, but I've known Bill for 25 years. I just meet you. I'm trying to work on our bromance. You know what I mean? And he goes, well, if you take the call, we can have breakfast tomorrow. And I go, oh. Really? I said, don't play with my emotions because I'll go sideways on you, Steve Martin. And so I take the call. He goes, Lenny, I put on speaker. He goes, yeah, Bill. He goes, I need a favor. I go, see? He goes, needy. So he's, what's up? He says, I need you to speak to the team. I go, all right, Bill, call my brother Mike. He'll set it up. I'll come speak to your little team. And that time they'd already won 2 World Championships.
Super Bowls, yeah.
Super Bowls, yeah. So, I goes, what do I got to do? He says, well, I just want you to talk to the team. I said, okay, well, we'll set it up. He goes, I don't think you understand. He's, what, now? Now? You want me to come talk to your team now? Bill, do you have any idea where I am? I'm at Fenway Park in the owner's booth. Steve Martin is fawning over me, and we're about to get our pants pressed. I said, now? It's got to be now? He goes, oh, Len, you never let me down before. And I go, all right, what do I got to do? He says, there's a car waiting for you behind home plate. And I go, wait a minute. How'd you know where I was? He says, Lenny, I'm Belichick. I know everything. And Steve Martin's going, he does. So I said, okay. So I said, honey, take the truck home, enjoy the night with the billionaires and Steve Martin and John and the beating the Yankees. And I go down and I get in the car, and the driver goes, Mr. Clark? And I go, yeah, call me Lenny, please. And we drive down to the stadium. The lights on. We ride right by the stadium. And we go to this hotel. Now, it's a Patriots home game. Now, home game not only means you're playing at this stadium, but the team gets to go home. Well, he sequestered all of them because it was the week of Spygate. And I pull up, and there's a blimp, and there's helicopters, and every podcast of Japan, Germany, everyone. And I get out of the limo, and the lights hit me like Logan Airport. And I go, wow. And everyone goes, who is it? Who is it? And he goes, some guy goes, nobody. I go, yeah.
It's Parcells.
I lost the weight then. So I walk in, I see his assistant, Parrish. And I said, Parrish, give me that. He had a video camera. I said, give me that. So I walk in, and Bill comes around. He goes, are you ready? I go, for what, Bill? I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing here. He goes, you got to talk to the team. I said, okay. So we go into a conference room at the hotel, and they lock the doors. And I'm going, oh, my God, I'm in a fucking team meeting. I never even dreamed of this shit. How good is this?
Right.
So he gets up, and he starts swearing at you. Fucking idiots. Who made this mistake? Who made that? And who did this mistake? And Tom Brady goes, it was me, coach. Well, don't do it again, Brady. I go, oh, my God, he's yelling at fucking Tom Brady. Huh? He goes, this has been the worst week of our football lives. So I thought it'd be great if we had a motivational speaker come in. I go, oh, this should be nuts. My pal, Lenny Clarke. And I go, oh, my God. So I go up. And I say, you know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Evidently, this video camera's worth $250,000. Who's the fucking nitwit that didn't hit delete? I mean, you were grabbed by a security guard. That's a step above a parking lot attendant. What, your uncle get you the job? This little kid in the room goes, yes, Mr. Clark. Yeah, I said, you haven't fired you yet? I go, so then I start shitting on Bill, you know, and no one does that, you know. Right. But I mean, I'm kind of pissed because he ruined my romance with Steve. So I'm really getting it. You know, like, yeah. How many rings do you fucking need? You know, what about these guys? You know, and so I tell this joke, and the joke it doesn't go over. And I say, you know, I've been telling that joke for 40 years. And a defensive back goes, Mr. Clark, yeah. Coach told us that joke yesterday. I said, what? We're here because you're stealing signals. Now you're stealing my jokes. What kind of an asshole are you? And Bill's just howling. And oh, my God. It was so he said that was one of the greatest uplifting moments we've ever had. He goes, would you do it again? I go, I'll do it if we get to the Super Bowl. We go to the Super Bowl. right?
That year,
That year, because Brady was out, 4 games?
4 games.
And they still won. They were a record,
They were awesome.
undefeated, right?
Yep.
Undefeated. And so we go out to Arizona, and what he did was he took all the players out of the $2,000 a night suites and put them in this crack hotel down. I mean, we're walking, place surrounded by cops, yellow tape, and we're stepping on crack. We go, wow. I said, so he goes, all right, now we're going to hear from about buddy Lenny. And I go, who picked this fucking shit off? I go, the coach. I said, oh, Bill, wonderful Bill. He go, you know why he picked this place? Because if you fucking lose, this is where you're going to end up living. You got to fucking win tomorrow. Undefeated season, we can fuck over the Dolphins. I'm just going crazy. And look, I am so proud of you. 18 in a row, 18 wins, and 18-0. You know what that means? I mean, that means not about the losses. None of you have been arrested, except you, Randy. Because Randy Moss, he got grabbed 2 weeks before.
Oh, that's funny.
And so he looks at me, and then he breaks out laughing because I said, wow, did I go too far? Can't even know with these guys. He starts, and then I just wind it up. And we go, Tom comes over after we're done. He goes, Lenny, I love you, man. I go, Tom, gee, you're my idol. Come on. He goes, I said, I hope you win tomorrow. You win, we're going to kick their ass. Because, all positivity. And he walks away, and I turn to Mike. I go, call the bookie. Call the bookie. As you know, 2 minutes, 42 seconds left.
Stupid.
The only catch the guy ever made in his life. I mean, he's the guy who dropped a gun out of his pocket and shot himself in the car. What's that guy's name? I don't even remember.
Plaxico Burris.
Yes. Oh man, that sucked.
I watched that Super Bowl in Iowa City. I was stuck on I-80. I went into the rink. It was no snow on the ground. Came out of the rink, foot of snow. They shut the highway down. I listened to that first half in the car. Finally pulled over to Buffalo Wild Wings. I was the only, because of the whole Spygate and all that shit, right? Or whatever. I was the only guy in there rooting for the Pats. Everybody was just hammering them. So I got shit-faced by myself in Iowa City.
Gino, we went into that stadium, and I could have sworn it was 75-25 Patriots fans. They were loud and wild. Everyone was excited. And when we lost, it came out, it seemed like 75% Giants fans. And they were giving it to us, and we're going, oh, my God, the one game we lost. And then, of course, Bob Kraft invited me to the after party, which we didn't go because, we just said, and we went out for a great steak dinner, and then I find out Gronk was just, Gronk's, I'm going to have fun anyway, Gronk. He's like a big German shepherd. That guy, I love him. Good God.
It's unreal.
He's an animal.
I was with I did a TV special with him, and I said, Gronk, people don't realize how smart you are. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, they told you, if I'm not mistaken, they told you you can't drink and drive. And he goes, that's why I bought a bus. I don't drive. And we get in the bus, there's stripper poles, and I did a dance. I was swinging around the pool. I mean, I got into it. It was good. But,
why not?
Bob Kraft is a true fan. You know what I mean? A real fan, because he used to sit in the bleachers at, what was the place before?
Schaefer Stadium.
Schaefer Stadium. They built it in a weekend, right? They built that stadium in a weekend with the aluminum seats, and the falling down. Oh, my God, it was horrible. And he turned that organization into a dynasty.
He saved the whole team because they were moved. Victor Kiam was bringing them to.
Yes,
he was going to go to Hartford, and then it was going to St. Louis.
Yep.
He was.
You'll never see a run like that ever again.
No,
you'll never see a run like that ever.
No, you won't. You won't. And I got to tell you, Bob Kraft, and I say Bob because I said Mr. Kraft. He goes, Lenny, call me Robert or Bob, and I go, whatever you say, Mr. Robert Bob Kraft. So we're in his office, and I said, well, actually, there's a room. It's like the trophy room, and there's 2 trophies at the time. And he said, Lenny, would you like a picture with the trophies? I said, Oh, I love that, Mr. Kraft. So he goes to get the photographer. I go over and I pick the trophies up and I'm holding them. He comes in, Lenny! And I almost dropped him. I was so afraid. You never hear Bob Kraft. And I go, oh, it's a great game and we have great people. He's not a really, he said, that's $2 billion worth of work. And I go, oh my God. Then two guys with white gloves come in, like the Stanley Cup, and they wipe it down. And I go, geez, I didn't realize I left fingerprints, because I never leave prints. But it was, I was so embarrassed. And he goes, it's okay, Lenny, it's all right.
Well, Brady threw one from boat to boat. That was incredible.
Incredible.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yep.
What if that went in the water?
It gone. Gone.
See ya.
Stop the boat. Stop right here.
Yeah.
Get some divers.
They get the
It's gotta
divers.
be-
Yeah. Well, that'd be whoever got to it first owned it.
That's right.
Right? I mean, someone would have thrown a
That's the law
snorkel
of the
on.
sea.
Right? It's something law. I mean, international waters, right? Be like
Possession.
a Somali pirate.
Yeah, right.
Why not?
Oh my God! But we went to Bob Kraft's 45th wedding anniversary, and we're all dressed up, and they call us, and the celebration was on the field, and they had tents up and a stage and music and everything, and Elton John was the guest.
Talked about him on
We
the
talked
ride
about
up.
him on the ride up.
Elton John. So my wife goes, oh my God, I love Elton John. And I go, well, the Celts are playing. and she goes, what? I go, why don't you stay and take the truck home and, have fun and see Elton and everything else. And we're sitting with Brady and Giselle, Brewski and Heidi, his wife, Vince Wilfork and his wife, and another couple, I don't know who they were. And I lean over to Tom and I say, hey, Tom, what was that jacket you were wearing in that commercial, the print ad, where you're getting out of a helicopter? He goes, geez, Lenny, I don't know. I go, well, how many fucking helicopter shots did you take? He goes, oh, smart water. I go, yeah. So I think it was smart water anyway. 2 weeks later, he sends the jacket to my house. Right? A guy comes to my house, Mr. Clark, I had this for you. I open up, I go, oh my God, it's the fucking jacket, right? So I wear it down to New York for, I don't know what I was shooting, but I go into Dennis Leary's office, and he goes, Lenny, he goes, wow, what a jacket. I go, not bad, huh? He goes, yeah. So I got it from my friend Tom Brady. He goes, what? He goes, that is a Tom Brady jacket. He gave me, he goes, let me look at it. He pulls up, he opens up, he goes, that's a Tom Ford. And I go, what's that mean? He goes, means it was like $5,000. I went, oh. So I only wear it to like funerals and weddings, or high school graduations, or oh God, man!
I love the fact that you got the coat from Tom Brady and didn't give a flying fuck what kind of coat it was. I didn't care.
I didn't know.
And Dennis Leary's like, oh my God, that's a
That would be me. I don't
Ford.
give. I don't. Yeah, I can't. It doesn't matter.
It's a beautiful. It's my favorite piece of clothing I've ever owned. I get DNA out of it, and I make a little Tom Brady. Oh God Almighty! He did the thing for special need kids. I forget the name.
Best buddies.
Yes.
Yes.
And so he had done it for probably did it like 10 or 11 years. And he'd always say, Lenny, when are you going to play? I go, whatever you say, and we never developed. And they weren't really keen on having me for some reason, So I finally, the last year he did it, he goes, Lenny, that's it, what you're doing. Okay. So I go, and they won't put me in. It's like first half, I didn't get in, one play, and I go, man. And Tom goes, Lenny, get in there. And I go, okay. And he goes, go left, just go down, go left. And I go, and I'm righty, but so going left, I go, this is going to suck, So I go down, and I make this catch, and I stumble, and I come up with the ball. The stadium goes wild. And so I go over to Tom. He goes, Lenny, that was a fuck of a catch. I go, you're Tom Brady. I got one shot. And then they go, get out. I go, get it. I said, I didn't give a shit. And Dennis calls me up and says, man, I saw you mowing over those special needs kids. I go, fuck you, Dennis. They were fast.
Did you keep the ball?
Yeah, oh, God.
I would have kept the ball.
No, I didn't keep the ball because the head guy wanted it. He didn't go for me. But I would do stuff for Best Buddies, dinners, auctions, comedy shows, dinner with people, I went to dinner at Del Frisco's. Down at
nice. Love Del Frisco's.
What would you like? I go, the most expensive thing you have. Just bring it out. I don't even care what it is. A giant, but a bone like Fred Flintstone. Oh, my
it's awesome.
God, yeah. About $200 for that thing. But anyway, I got to do that, and we have tape of it's on YouTube or some. Anybody is good with the computer. I'm not good with that shit.
This is just for show.
This show is fantastic. Are you kidding me? No one's come in and asked us to leave. This is a win.
Well, Tom Brady and Giselle.
Yeah.
Right? You sit at a table. Like, I've always said, and I know you'll agree with me, that's a bed you jump in. Don't matter what side you're landing on. You're having fun.
I was there the day he met Giselle. And
the day he met Giselle. You say that like, man, no big deal. The day he met Giselle?
It was at the stadium. And Giselle was doing something for, I don't know, the Angels. What do you...
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret,
yeah. Well, they dress up like that.
Like prancing around in underwear.
Working with me is like, it's like hybrid. What do you call it? Charades, and then you pick up. So, yeah, and then Tom asked me. He says, "Lenny, will you do me a favor?" I go, "Yes." He goes, "You don't even know what it is yet." "It doesn't matter, Tom. I'll do it. If I've got something, I'll cancel it." So we went to the Meridian Hotel in downtown Boston, and we did a show. Giselle had this thing where she wanted to bring computers to this little village in Africa, right? So we raised enough money for like 40 computers. Someone comes up to me while I'm doing it. He says, "Lenny, there's no electricity in that village." I'm like, "What?" I go, "Well, they need electricity. They're on the computers." I go, "You're telling me?" So I don't know. So I go over to Tom and Giselle. I go, "Giselle is a problem. They have no electricity in the village, so the computers would be like,
Won't work.
Couple hours and then it's it.
So I will buy a generator." And someone says, "I will buy one too." So I will buy one too. They bought generators and all these computers, and they sent it to the kids. And he goes, "Lenny, I can't thank you enough." During that event, he calls me over. He says, "Lenny, tell me a joke." I says, "All right." This horse walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Why the long face?" And the horse says, "Because I have cancer." Right? And he's just staring at me. He goes, "Don't like it." But it gets better. He goes, "Do a lap and come back with a better joke." Do a lap. So I'm walking around the fucking restaurant doing a lap. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I call Tony. I go, "Tony, you got any joke?" "Yeah, give me a joke." Tony gives me a joke, and I go back and tell me, "Oh, that's great." And I go, "Oh, wow." I thought the horse in the bar joke was good.
Some of your horse
Oh, my
material
God.
is fantastic. The joke I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I love that.
Bring that on
you know
the
who gave
TikTok?
me that joke? Charles Durning. When we were shooting Rescue Me, he told me that joke. He says, I used to tell. He was like a comedian and a dancer and everything. He was unbelievable, tough as nails, great guy. And he told me, he says, I'm not into this bestiality. I go, yeah, that's not my game either. He goes, but if I ever did have sex with an animal, I would fuck a horse. I said, a horse? He goes, yeah. That way when you're done, you get a ride home.
It's one of my favorites.
Hey, I want to mention this girl, Jordan Toffolo. She's a director.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I know who
beautiful
she is.
blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she directed my movie that I wanted to make more than anything in my life. And by getting involved with her as the director, it got made. It was called The Dirty Uber. And we won a lot of festivals,
Yeah.
But we got rejected from a lot of festivals because the name was The Dirty Uber. And they thought dirty, you can't be called that. And I was the Dirty Uber. You got to watch the film to see I am.
Oh, yeah.
But she did such a great job directing it. And I'm doing another movie for her next month that Frank Santarelli has written. It's called
Of The Sopranos.
Love in Space. Yeah. And I play a Russian cosmonaut, like the head of all the Russian cosmonauts, and I have to have a Russian accent. And I go,
You work on that?
accent? I go, I without a doubt have the worst Russian accent in the world. She goes, perfect. That's just what we're looking for. And I go, oh, it's a comedy. I guarantee it'll be funny. You know, nyet, nyet. You know, that's for Danya. That's all I got. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Good luck with
Only
that.
Russian with a Boston accent.
I tell you what, I'm so excited about working with her. I approached her to do another film where she, yeah, okay, and she direct, yeah, and she called me back and said, would you mind if I said no? And I go, I wouldn't mind, but I go, you're the first pick, and she goes, yeah, it's too far out there for me. I went, so now, I mean, it's wild, but if that's going to take, I'm going to have to get someone who's, you know, on the downside of the directing, you know, because. But she's a brilliant actress, but what a director! I mean, she directed this, The Dirty Uber, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's out there.
It's out there, and I'm really excited. The last film I did was The Art Thief, based loosely on the Stuart Isabella Gardner Museum robbery, and. It's not fun. I play a very bad man, and I loved it. Oh God, yeah, that's on Amazon. You know, in the movie I did with Jimmy Tingle called The Clam Shack Blues. You know, yeah, oh God, that's out there. I mean,
What about Halloween Kills? You were
my-
Jason's first victim.
My God, that's in the Horror Movie Hall of Fame. My death. It was. They said, you know, when they killed all the firemen, that was a group. But as far as an individual being killed, I made friends with the special effects guy with the blood. He had just won the Academy Award, I think, for Suicide Squad. And I'm having lunch with an Academy Award winner. And the guy, I got him laughing like hell. He's, oh my God, I am going to kill you so good. I am going to make it. Yeah. So once they pulled me through they pulled me through the guy who was working, the director, David Gordon Green, oh my God, he's unbelievable. He said, I don't like it. I said, well, I said, keep the guy. Let me do that stunt. And he goes, you're one of the stars. We can't have you. I said, come on.
The stunt.
It's paper glass or the bottle. You know, it's crack, and I'll be fine. This guy reaches through and grabs me, and it looks so real because I was in shock, you know. And he's banging my head again, and I didn't know we were going to do the head banging. And then he rips me through the glass, and then he stabbed me and cut me, and the blood there to pump it just squirted out everywhere. And then he drags me into the kitchen, puts me on the table, and stabs me with 10 kitchen knives. You know, out of the kitchen blood, dude. And he's hitting me. I'm going, oh. And they go, Lenny, you're dead. You can't move, and you can't make any sound. And I said to the prop guy, bring it down to 6 kitchen knives. You know? Because, so now I'm there. Inside him internally going, oh my God. And he goes, Mr. Clark, I'm such a fan. He goes, you are? He was a new Mike Myers. It was his first Mike Myers. Because the new Mike Myers and the old Mike Myers were both in that movie. And the guy, Donald Pleasance, right? Now, I know Donald Pleasance is dead, but this guy comes up to me, hello, Lenny, I think you're fabulous. I go, Donald Pleasance? He goes, no, I'm Eddie from the fucking construction crew. I just look like him. I'm going, oh, it was so wild. So now... The guy, I'm such a fan of his. You want to stay my fan? Stop fucking stabbing! Stop! You're killing me! I'm pissing blood. And but what a nice guy, big, strong kid. Jesus, it was unbelievable. And you know, David Gordon Green, who also directed, God, what was the last movie? Stronger. Yeah. I mean, he was amazing in that, and he would say, Lenny, you know, lighten up the mood. And I go, you got it, David. Yeah, I was like his joke monkey, you know. And what a director. Fantastic. And I got to meet Danny McBride, who was like executive producer, you know. He's what a funny bastard. He's great. So I got to call him, David Gordon Green, say, hey, you got another part for an old white guy, you know, because you know, I'm your man.
Now, I mean, something about Mary...
Yeah.
You know, the list goes on. I mean,
something about Mary. I was supposed to be the cop, but I was so fat when I got there. They said,
Swing
I couldn't
took it,
fit
right?
through the window. I was that fat. I could not fit through that window.
That's why you were the fireman.
That's why they made me the fireman. And Sweeney's the cop.
Yeah.
So we break for lunch, and me and Steve go over, and they have all these trays with the big silver top on it. And Peter Farrelly goes, "Oh, I think you guys will like this. It's the dick and balls." And me and Sweeney go, "Ah!" And he goes, "That's the reaction. That's what we want when you see the dick and balls." Because it costs like $8,000 to make it, And I mean, oh my God!
It was the
prosthetic
prosthetic
on the beat.
It was the dick and balls on the table
that they strapped on.
Oh yeah, on Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller?
Yeah. Oh my God!
What a scene. That was unreal.
Incredible. Get a camera. What's your name? No. We gotta bleed it. Oh God.
What was your favorite movie to do over all the years? I know you love working with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
he was. You always talk about how great he is. But what was your favorite movie, or that you did that out of all? I mean, I know it's hard because it's like saying what's your favorite '80s movie.
Right.
I mean, there's
you know what?
bunch.
I think something about Mary because. The Farrelly brothers, I saw Pete at the airport, Martha's in the airport. I said, "Hey, man, if you ever need me for a movie," he goes, "As a matter of fact, you'd be perfect for the spot, So they brought me down.
Ask and you shall receive.
And we were at this beautiful hotel, the Biltmore in Coral Gables. I mean, they have the biggest swimming pool I've ever seen in my life. And you know how hotels, the pool closes at 8, the pool closes at 10. I'm on a high dive going up. He goes, "The pool's closed." I go, No, it's okay. We're the movie people. And they treated us so great. And working with Cameron Diaz, she was unbelievable. And Ben Stiller was very good to me and Steve. And working with Steve Sweeney was, it was a dream come true. And it was just, everything about it was amazing. The accommodations, the stuff. But I ended up, so I'd say that was my favorite. When I did Stuck on You, they flew me in, shot in Miami. Beautiful hotel right on the beach. 2 pools, one for sex, one for cleaning. And I mean, we all these models from Brazil. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, wild, And Matt Damon, working with Matt Damon, I knew Matt's father, and I knew Matt from some charity events, and we became good friends. And he's always been great to me. And they said, do you have a suit? And I go, no. And they go, well, you're playing a drunk lawyer who's arrested. And I go, oh. They call up a big, tall, fat, sweaty guy's shop at like 11 at night, and the guy goes, "I'll be right there." So they take me in a truck, and the guy bills me a suit, it makes me like, and they go this, that, and it was perfect. So we finished shooting that scene, and I take the suit back to the hotel with me, and I got to be in Australia 2 days later. So I take the suit. And we're going to the airport. "Lenny, do you have that suit? We need that suit back." "Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll get it right to you." I figure I'll wear it in Australia because, I don't know what this comedy festival's all about, but, I want to look good, as good as I could. So I go to Boston. I get another bag of clothes, go to L.A., get on a plane, fly to Australia. I'm in Australia. They call me, "Lenny, you have that suit?" I go, "Oh, you know what I did? I'm in Australia. I packed it away. I'm so sorry. I'm a nitwit." And I wear a suit in Australia, and it worked out okay. And then I flew back, and I don't know if I ever got the suit back to them. But
You didn't get the suit back to them.
I don't think I did. But the shoot was done, and but oh my God, yeah, working with the Farrelly brothers is incredible because. They're the type of guys that we have lines. They give you the lines, but then they say, "Lenny, you want to play with that?" And I go, "Yes." And they go, "Okay, oh great, oh that's good. Lenny, that sucked." I go, "Yep, no problem." They're very honest with you, and of course, when you're working with them, you want to please them.
Right.
You want them to be happy, and because they're brilliant, and they were just the greatest, man.
You know what? I think they would love Penalty Box. my movie.
Yeah,
I think
because-
they would because it's a
because
hockey
Bobby-
movie. It's a comedy.
Bobby is a
Bobby's
goalie.
huge. Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there in case they're watching.
Throw it on the universe. Will happen.
You never know. When stand-up stood out, that was one of my favorite things to watch because I mean,
There were no comedy movies. There were
None.
Yeah. When I started in comedy, I wanted to know everything. And when I started in comedy, it was only about maybe 100 comedians. I mean, including the big stars, Rodney, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, who I have tape recordings of them calling my house. You know what I mean? And
That's cool.
It's unbelievable. I mean, these guys were the comedy gods.
Yeah, they
you
were
know?
legends.
And I mean, there's a lot of young guys out there that are great. I mean, look, I don't think I'm funnier than anyone, but I know I am insane. And I use that insanity under the guise of comedy that I managed to eke out a little career, you know? So what was the question?
about when stand-up stood out.
Oh, all right. So when we did that, all these people had made tapes of me. At the Ding Ho, you know, it was open mic night, and I'd put on 40 people in a night, you know. The bar closes at 2. We'd be there till 3 in the morning sometimes, you know. An hour after, the cops come in, hey, how you doing? Oh, Lenny, hey. You know, so it was, one night, they had a paddy wagon pick me up at the barracks in Cambridge and drove me to the Ding Ho, pull up on the sidewalk. They open the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, Lenny Clark. And they open the doors. I come out of the paddy wagon, go right on stage. Hey, everybody. I went on with a chainsaw one night. And I said, started up. And I cut a table. And they had wooden tables. And I cut a wooden table. And then I go, any hecklers here tonight? but Steve Wright goes, you know, Lenny, you are out of your mind. You know that, right? And I go, pretty much. He goes, if you look under the table, there's a base that's all metal. And if the chain hit that, the chain would have flew out, maybe take someone's eye. You know what I mean? Thanks for a great news story, but I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody. And, God. Well, I mentioned Stephen Wright.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
God. When he'd get on stage, he would face the wall. He was so afraid he couldn't face the audience. And, you know, and he's got he doesn't like to be touched and everything. He wears gloves, you know. And, I mean, he's a genius, you know. So I would go up. I'd be smoking a joint doing a line. I'd go up and go, hey, let's you little prick. And I'd turn him around, you know, and I'm towering over them. And look at this audience. They're paying admission to be here to see you. You owe them to look at them. And the crowd would go crazy, and he'd be go, oh, my God, you know, he's touching me.
You take a shower.
He's sweating on me, you know. And we did a show in Orono, Maine. You went,
Oh, yeah, I've been there. Yep, Black Bears.
Long road, long ride.
Long ride.
So they go, you want to go up with us? I go, no, I'm good. So I drove up by myself. And we did the show, and the promoter was, I was on the outs with this promoter. And we have a hotel room for you. I go, no, you keep your room. I'm going home. So Steve Wright goes, Lenny, would it be okay if I drive home with you? I go, sure, no problem. So we get on the highway. We're doing 80, 85. And he goes, aren't you worried about getting pulled over? And I go, look, have you seen a car in the last hour? I go, and then there's a horrible wreck on the other side. And I go, beautiful. He goes, beautiful. There's flames. I go, it's just what we need. Every cop worth his salt is going to be at that. This is big for them. So now I'm doing 100, 110. He's going, my God, I've never been this fast in my life. I go, relax. He's belting up. He wants another belt in the back. And the poor kid's a wreck. So he gets on stage at the Ding Ho the next night. And he goes, I drove back from Maine with Lenny Clark last night. It took us 8 minutes. Oh, he's such a good guy. I love him.
I have to point something out because this is why I love you and so many other people love you. You're talking about being at the pool at Miami, and it's closed, and the guy says, you know, you can't be out here, and you go, I'm with the movie people. 99% of other people, if they said that, people would think, what a dick.
Yeah.
You say it, and I bet the guy was like, that's fine.
Right.
And that's what is so great about you.
Here's a great one. We're shooting rounders. And
What a movie.
I actually talked about that today. Pay the man his money.
I walk
that
in on
scene.
the set, and it's Malkovich.
Yeah.
And it's Matt Damon and John Turturro and somebody else they're playing. And Malkovich didn't talk to me, didn't say a word. And I'm wondering, who's going to fuck up first? Who's going to be the first one to go up on their lines? And I go, it's not going to be me because I really studied. And the guys hired me without an audition. They said, you're one of our favorites. They do Billions now. I got
great show.
Yeah, I love that show. And they use comics on that, you know. So I'm talking with him, and the first one to go up on the line was Malkovich. Just like a word or two. And they go, cut. And I go, well, we broke the ice. And he looks at me, and his eyes, his steam coming out. He goes, that's very funny. That's
Fucking great, Malkovich.
So in another scene in that movie, Matt Damon loses like $35,000, and you see it. It's the acting. His face is so, and he looks over at me and goes, "Well, I gotta go." Cut, Lenny. I go, yeah. I go, Lenny. This is not a comedy. You're a very funny guy, but it's not. I said, I know, but we've been shooting this scene for 8 hours. That scene took 12 hours.
No.
We came back the next day, and we were shooting in some, like, Matt Damon, he sees me. We were having a great time. Malkovich, Turturro, and I mean, the only dick was Ed Norton. He was a real dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real dick. And it was too bad too, because as an actor, I think he's fabulous.
Oh, he's great.
But as a person, he's a dick. So a lot of people don't give you the inside dope. I do. I would have fucked.
You do.
God. Well, here's what happened. We're at a table, and they had given me I only have like 2 lines in Rounders. But I'm in a lot of scenes, but I'm only two speaking. But I had this big long thing. He comes in, his name's Worm. Worm comes in. Hey, how you doing, Worm?
Right.
Yo, if you look at our game, still got the same game, still got the same numbers. Call me up. We got a lot of good people. You're welcome anytime. Blah, 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 blah. Like a whole page of dialogue. And they go, cut. And he goes, Jonathan Dahl was the director. And he comes over, and I'm sitting next to Fromke Johansson, one of the Bond girls.
Yeah.
Who crushed ball. She's awesome. And just drop dead gorgeous. And she says, what's going on? I go, I'll tell you what's going on right now. I said, he's over there saying, I don't like being standing there while it takes all this time for him to deliver the line. Could he just say, hey, Worm? And I go, and they go, they'd never do. He'd never do that to another actor. So John comes over, he goes, Lenny, would you mind, let me guess, just say, hey, Worm? He goes, if you don't mind. I go, John, it's your film, whatever you want. And he walks away, and I go, oh, that motherfucker. So, hey, Worm. So we cut, and Edward Norton comes over, and he says, hey, I'm sorry. I hope we didn't get off on the wrong foot. I go, no, the next foot's going to be right up your fucking ass.
Yeah, right.
I'm about 350 at the time. And he's like 80 pounds, So I look, I said, it says, because you ever embarrass me like that, I will beat the fuck out of you. And look around. There's no one going to stop me. Who's going to stop me? I will go through people to get to you. I'll rip your fucking head off. And he goes, oh, and I walked away. I stormed off.
Just storm off moment.
So I come back and I go, what did he say? He goes, oh man, he shook up. And I go, well, he should be.
He should be. It's bullshit.
It was a big break for me. Now we're staying at the Trump Taj Mahal where we're playing. And we go in. And I say to the guy with the rooms, I go, hey, Eddie, I said, any chance I could get a bigger room? He goes, Lenny, we're already set up with a 2-bedroom suite. I go, facing the ocean. I go, oh, this is awesome. 35th floor. So we go up. Mike's with me, Mike comes down, and one of my other brothers comes down. And Mike goes, we got a few guys coming by. We're going to need a cot. I said, okay. So I called down. He says, Mike calls down. Could you send us up a cot? He goes, sir, you're in a 2-bedroom suite and with couches. He goes, yeah, but we need a cot. We need a cot for the monkey. Monkey? You can't have a monkey in your dog. He said, no, it's okay. We're the movie people. 20 minutes later, the guy comes up. Mike's in his underwear. He goes to the door. He goes, oh, great. He gives the guy like a 20. He goes, can I see the monkey? He goes, oh, God, no. He'll rip your face off. He's why? That's why he needs his own cart.
Here's your 20.
That was doing that movie was so fun because Matt had just won Academy Award, I think, for something before it. It may have been Good Will Hunting and everything. But Matt Damon is one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. I mean, he's just
What an actor.
He's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
I mean, the Martian, everything he's done has been, the Bourne.
Bourne,
Oh my God!
That whole series is unreal.
He was incredible.
Yep.
And you never hear anyone go, he's not that good. He's amazing. And Ocean's, everything he does is fantastic. Now the other guy,
Affleck?
yeah, but
Affleck.
he never got to audition for any of his. He shot some movies in town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we're looking for people with a Boston accent. Hello, 'Cause I've read for 5 or 6 films in Boston where they want a Boston accent. One was, we're looking for a Lenny Clark type. Okay, so I go in. I swear, on my soul. So I go in, I do it, I don't make any mistakes, and they go, yeah, it's not going to work out. And I go, I guess it's not, because I'm fucking Lenny Clark. And they go, yeah, that's crazy.
Now, you brought up your brother Mike Clark, who runs Giggles.
Yeah.
Right? Arguably the best comedy club in the Boston area.
Definitely.
I mean, for my money, it is.
Yeah, mine too.
Love working there. And he's done so much for me, for other comics. I mean, he's just, he's kind of like behind the scenes.
Right.
But funny. Oh. Funny. But he does so much, and it's just, it was great to see him in that when stand-up stood out.
Oh.
Because it was kind of like...
And he doesn't want to be in front of the camera.
Right.
He's a behind-the-scenes kind of guy.
Yep.
Like when I was shooting the last show, Extended Family on NBC, that got canceled 2 weeks
By the
before.
way, hold on. I got to say this. You in that was fantastic. Best part of the show.
Oh,
Every scene you were
Thank
in,
you.
nailed it. The show itself was fucking horrible. I mean,
Well, it got canceled.
I was like, God, I want this show to be good, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you're in it.
Yeah.
And you were so good, and everyone else, it was just painful to watch.
Well-
John Cryer, I love John Cryer.
yeah.
Bald, not so good. All right? And if she left him, I get it. Divorce can be nice, which is all bullshit, right? Any one of us is divorced.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's a lot of hate.
A lot of hate. And you don't fall for another bald guy. Do you know that there was just so much that pissed me off about the show because you were in it and you were so fucking good. And it was like, why can't the show be as good as you?
Well, here's what happened. Wick Grossbeck, owner of the Celtics, he wrote the story, and he asked me if I would consider doing it. And I go, Wick, what are you, new? Come on. I'll do the show.
I haven't said no to nothing.
So Tom Werner from the Red Sox, I had done another show with him. He calls me, Lenny, we're having, can I meet you tomorrow for coffee? And I go, of course. He goes, I have a lunch date, so it can either be before or after. And in my mind, we go, I can't do lunch, but I've learned. Keep
Only
your
coffee?
mouth shut. And Tom Werner is a genius. I think he holds the records for most shows in syndication. Yeah, I mean, he's that.
shit.
Wow. He's that. Well, Roseanne,
Right.
Cosby.
Oh, yeah.
Grace Under Fire. I mean, Chelsea Handler. It goes on and on and on. And a lot. What's the kid with all the kids in Wisconsin? The young show. One of the guys is in jail forever for rape or something. Danny Masterson and who's the drop-dead handsome guy?
Mark Riley.
No. Oh yeah, I use you for bait. Look, what happens?
I told Gino you'd
What
say
happened? Oh God, Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
So that show, that '70s show.
Yeah,
That
70s show, yeah.
That's it.
So and I
Oh,
did.
wow.
Oh my God, I got an Ashton Kutcher story you won't believe. But where was I? How long was I out?
I don't know. I looked at the Ashton Kutcher story.
So Tom flies in, and he goes, Lenny, can we do breakfast? I said, yes. So we go to this nice breakfast joint, and he goes, okay, I just want you to talk. And I said, all right, I can do that. He starts filming me, asks me questions. I'm talking. He's laughing, and then he goes, oh my God, this is great. So he sends it to the producers in Hollywood, and they go, oh my God, get him out here, get him out here. And Mike O'Malley, who I love, this guy is like Belichick. He's down on the floor while you're shooting. He'll move you. It's like James Burrows, the greatest television director of all time. Will and Grace, you know, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
everything. So, Cheers. I mean, this guy, he did everything. Wow. So
Did a few.
he was, I lost it again. So Michael Malley, he's down there on the floor, and he'll tell you, look here, stand here, move here, get yeah. And he'll look at the camera, and he's so involved, and he makes it easier for you. You know, at one point, and I would work my. They had filmed 2 shows, and they called me up and said, we need you in this new show. And I go, okay. So I go out and I do 2 shows, and I'm walking by the green room, and there's me on a video monitor, and I hear the guy from NBC going, this isn't working out. And I go, ooh, I'm going to get fucking canned. And then the Lionsgate people say, it's definitely not working out. And I go, oh, we need him in every show. And I go, yeah! You know, because I would go to work, go home, sit in my hotel room and just run the lines over and over. I'd have them taped all over I'd go into another room, different scene going on. And I work my ass off because you want it.
Yeah.
You know, this year.
You're a professional.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah. And you're working with all these greats. And I mean, I couldn't believe it. And at one point, Michael Malley, there was one line. It was a simple line, but I just kept flubbing it. And Michael Malley goes, I'm going to stand over here. I'm going to say the line to you. And you're going to say it perfect. Because if you don't, we'll probably all get fucking fired. No pressure. Go. And then we got so comfortable, they would say, Lenny, I'm in a hospital bed. And they go, would you mind if I lay on the floor and give you lines? I go, couldn't get any better. So he'd give me a line, action, and I'd say the line, and go, great. And then Laura Keitling, I don't know if you were around when she was in Boston. Great. She was a brilliant writer now, but she was also a very funny comedian. So she lays next to him, and then another writer lays over here, and they're all throwing lines at me, and I'm nailing them. And they're perfect cut. It was unreal. And because
You were great in that scene, too.
Oh, God.
That was a funny scene.
And Donald Faison was the nicest guy, and John Cryer. And the girl, oh, God, I blank her up because she's so beautiful.
She's great.
Oh, she was in Suits. Yeah, what the
Yeah.
God? I mean, one of the nicest ladies ever. It took me 2 days to be able to look her squarely in the eye because she was so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh.
And the nicest, she's fantastic. Oh, God.
Now, what was your favorite TV show to do? Because you've done it.
Lenny.
Well, all right.
Only-
Aside from
Yeah. It was so long ago.
What a dumb question.
No.
I should have got that
It
on
was so long ago. They're going to colorize it now. But,
Like the Wizard of
because
Oz.
I never dreamed of having my own show. And they go, well, what are we going to call it? And they go, why don't we call it Lenny? And they go, yeah. And they're all going, yeah. And I go, how do you feel about it? I go, yeah. So, I mean, that show was produced by Tony Thomas from the Whit Thomas Group, who did Golden Girls, Empty Nest, several other shows. I can't even think of them. And I remember walking into Tony Thomas's office, and I sat down, and the door closed, and I go, oh, that's pretty cool. He had a thing under his desk.
You had a Matt Lauer button?
Yeah.
A Matt Lauer.
Yeah. But Matt's locked. You couldn't get out. Right. Bermuda Triangle. You went in with Matt Lauer. You could get in, but you couldn't get out. And he was, I met him a couple times. Real dick. You know what I mean? I thought he was a dick, And,
Matt Lauer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
He didn't try to lock you in the office?
No, but I went through that fucking wall. You should. I would have had him under me like a batter. He used to be a battering ram, But hey, he got what he
Right?
deserved.
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
Yes, he did. Dirtbag.
But the whole Lenny thing, I mentioned they hired me a pastry chef. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
So and assistants, and I was the star of the show. And I'm sitting with my wife, who is Lee Garlington, who is one of the most incredible actresses I've ever worked with. I mean, I really mean that. And she played my wife. And one day she's looking, well, you have this lines and you have this many lines. I go, are you shitting me? Yeah, I'll give you these 3, take those, and take these 2 on the next page. She goes, what? I go, yeah, I this isn't fucking easy. 76 pages was the pilot.
Holy shit.
I was home on Thursday night, and we shoot on Fridays. And I said to my wife, my beautiful redheaded Jewish Playboy model cocaine dealer from Alabama.
All true. Can't make that shit up.
Right? So I said, honey, run these lines with me. She goes, Len, I'm too nervous. I can't do it. I go, you got it. Yeah. So I left the house and I walked over to the Cheesecake Factory in Marina Del Rey, where they have these like stadium lights and they have park benches in it. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading. Then I would do it, and I would do all 76 pages because I was on almost every single page. And I did it for 2 hours, and I finally got it flawless. And I turned around to these homeless people going, that was the best one you've done. I had no idea they were there. They've been watching me for hours, I guess. And I went home, and I said, I'm ready. And I went the next day, and without a doubt, you've heard the expression flop sweat. I lost 6 pounds shooting that night. 6 pounds. Because I weighed myself before. I was dripping in sweat, 3 or 4 costume changes. My first time on TV, and I'm the fucking star. Right. You know, it's pretty overwhelming. You know, where'd you learn to act? Oh, one of my greatest ones ever. I get invited into Paramount Studios, and they said, Lenny, we really like you, and we want to do a 3-picture deal with you. Well, first picture we'll give you $1 million. Second picture will be $2 million. The third picture, $5 million for 3 pictures. I said, sounds good. And he goes, I have one question. Can you act? And I said, hey, I'm making believe I'm having fun with you, aren't I? The guy's head looked like he was gonna fucking explode. He said, get out of my fucking office. I go, I was only kidding. I go, that was pretty fast. Oh, fuck.
Cost himself $5 million.
Here's another great Lenny Clark failure. X-Files was one of my all-time favorite shows.
Yeah, it was a great show.
I loved that show, and I wanted to be on it. So, I mean, I got my own show, and I did I just done what's that movie? The TV show, The Angel, Touched by an Angel.
Touched by an
Angel.
Yeah, I'm going back next month. I'm going to be touched by an uncle. So now I'm in there. I said to my agent, I said, get me an audition for the X-Files. So they sent me a script, and I read it, and Jackie Flynn's wife was a great actress. She was helping me, you know, and she was really making it right. No matter, nope. And she was just brilliant, so good. And I go in for the audition, and I walk into the room, and I can honestly say to you guys, for the first time in my entire life, I was the best looking guy in the room. They were freaks. They were cretins. I'm going, oh my God. I didn't want to sit down with them. You know what I mean? I'm going, is this a fucking joke? Am I being... So I go in and I read for these fucking embryos. These kids that must have been 19, 20, you know, and I'm going, oh, yeah. So, and they're not even looking at me. They're playing with their PDAs at the time before, you know what I mean? And I'm going, okay, well, we'll let you know. I go, no, you won't. I want to know right now. I want to know right now. We don't do it like that. Well, you're doing it with me. I said, what, are you here because your uncle got you the job? I said, you sons of bitches, you let me know. You have the dignity. You didn't even fucking watch me. Have the dignity to tell me to my face, no. Security. You're going to need security. And I go, now that was acting. I'm halfway home, and my agent calls. He says, what did you do at the fucking Fox Studios? I said, you know, get out of here. Oh, another great failure. I go to read for the movie True Romance. Big fucking, I think it was a Tony Scott or one of the Scott brothers film, but a great film, loaded with stars.
Yeah.
And I go in and I read it, this cop, and I said to the kid who's just coming out, and I go, how many people in there? Because you never know how many people behind that door. Could be 3, could be 20. You know, he goes, about 18. I go, oh, fuck. So I go in, and the director, he says, are you ready? I goes, I'm ready. And I throw the script on the floor. He goes, oh, you must be ready. So action. I goes, Dime's hitting from the left, I'm hitting from the right. And I said, you better like it because you're never going to lick pussy again. And he goes, cut. He goes, where does it say lick pussy in the script? He goes, it says, like pussy. I said, well, if you like it, you lick it, right? He goes, get out, get out. Everyone in the fucking room is holding the laughter in. And he is furious. And I walk out and they go, and I wanted that fucking role so bad. And they called my agent and said, we don't want to ever see him again for anything. And she goes, what happened? He goes, well, it just didn't work out. And the director said, he's going to be a magnificent actor once he gets off the drugs. And I said, I hadn't done a drug in 2 fucking weeks. I was so fucking, I didn't even smoke a joint, no lines, nothing. I was so cold, sober as a judge. And who did they hire? Tom Sizemore and Sean Penn's brother. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And the both of them are no longer with us. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's probably good you didn't get the role.
Yeah, you know what?
You might be dead.
In retrospect, you could be
This
right.
would be a different podcast if you were dead right now. Right?
Right.
Oh, God.
Rescue Me. I mean, just
Unreal
one of the
series.
greatest shows.
You know, as much as I love Rescue Me, and I do, and I love Dennis for being so good to me, and I had done a show before that called The Job.
The Job was great.
And it was about New
So
York
great.
detectives. And I went in and I read for the part. And Steve Wright's director was for his Academy Award film, The Appointment of Mr. Jennings or something. He was in the room and I had called Steve. I said, Steve, could you call your buddy and tell him, you know, throw a good word in for me. And he goes, well, Lenny, I don't really do stuff like that. I know, Steve, but I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you now. You're going to tell this fucking guy. So I go in and I read for them. And I got to tell you, it went flawless. Because I'll tell you if it's bad, I tell you. And I really wanted this role. I'm working with Dennis and, you know, shooting in New York. So I go, they go, that was great, Lenny. We'll let you know. And I go, what do you mean you let me know? I know all of you people. Well, just tell me right now. And they go, well, it doesn't work like that. Yes, it does. You're going to tell me I got the job or not, or I'm not leaving. And they go, all right, you have the job. I go, see? Why do you have to make things so fucking difficult? And I had a hotel room not too far from where I auditioned. I got back, and one of my buddies was there. He said, what do you think? I go, I got the job. So I'm in the fucking steam room smoking a cigar. And a guy comes in, can you smoke in here? I go, as far as I'm concerned, you do whatever you want here. Keep your hands to yourself. But it was, oh my God. But doing that show.
That show was awesome.
Oh my God. We were
That was
shooting.
awesome.
We were shooting in New Jersey at this, the place where they shot the recent Shaft. And it was like an old abandoned police station. And I walked in and the smoking signs, no smoking, the no's were crossed out. And on the table, you know, cookies and all sorts of things, Fritos, I mean, and cases, packs of cigarettes, like boxes, Marlboro Light, I mean, Salem, all different cigars, you know. So I walk up to the 3rd floor in the back room because I wanted to go over my lines. I open up a window and I got my feet up on the desk and I'm smoking. And this person knocks. I go, come in. She goes, you know, there's no smoking in this building. I said, really? Have you met Dennis yet? She goes, no. I go, you will. I said, close the door on your way out. So now I'm up there and I'm kind of pissed off. The first time I knew everybody on the crew, every single person on that crew I knew. And it was a big family. Everyone liked each other. No assholes. Yeah. So now Dennis goes, where's Lenny? Where's Lenny? And someone go find Lenny. So they look in every room and they find me. I go, what? Dennis is looking for you. I go, great, I'm looking for him. So I go down. He goes, why weren't you here 10 minutes ago? I'll tell you why, Dennis. I didn't want to bother people with my cigar smoke. I know you all smoke, and I know the nose man, and I'm good with that. So I just thought I'd go up, open a window, read some lines, have a nice smoke for myself. I go, you understand I'm smoking? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, this woman came in and told me I couldn't smoke in the building. And he goes, who said that? So he goes, You know, there are about 10 other shows working in New York. You want to know Smoke? Go find one on that fucking set. Never bother him again. And she looks at me and I go, that's Dennis.
That's Dennis.
I don't think she lasted more than a week.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
No,
Gino, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've been monopolizing this whole thing.
Yeah, so I mean, like your whole career, it seems like you never said no to a show or anything or a gig. I mean, it's never. I mean, that's what we tell our referees, right? Like, never turn down an assignment, always take it because you never know where it's going to take you.
Right.
And look at all the people and all the relationships you met throughout your whole, your whole career.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. Like, you have billionaires in your phone. You're
Yes.
talking to every owner in the sports. I mean,
Yeah.
every kid. I'm sitting here. I'm like the biggest sports fan in Boston. And you know all the owners just sitting in the box. I mean, how freaking cool is that? Like,
Gino, it's amazingly cool. But when I was starting out, I got a local name, and all the players from the different teams would come and see me.
Right.
I walked out of the Comedy Connection, the first place that was a place to work, right downtown, in the back.
Yep.
And walked out with the center for the Celtics. I don't remember who it was at that time, but we're pretty lit up. And he bangs his head on a no parking sign and falls down. I gotta catch him. I go, oh geez, this is gonna be right. And then when Cam came to town, we'd go out drinking with him and LB.
Yep.
And we had the Bruins call me and they say, hey, you can't be taking these guys out and getting them fucked up. They have careers to think about. And I go, hey, fuck you. They're paying.
yeah, don't break routine either.
I said, they're picking up the tab. You know what I mean? And so I was friends with all the players and all the sports. And they either retire or get traded. And then you're out.
Right.
But then as things went on, I met all the owners. And the young kids coming up in comedy would say, Lenny, why are you always on TV and why are you always in the newspaper? And I go, I'll tell you, one of the main reasons is charity work. And they said, what's that pay? I go, it doesn't
It's
pay
charity,
you,
you
it's
asshole.
charity, you dope. Because I met all the owners through charity-related events. And and I wasn't looking for that.
Right.
It's just I was doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Giving back.
and- Yes.
Yeah. And someone said, "Would you do this?" I said, "Yeah." I mean, I've had to say no to a couple things, like my cousin's goldfish died. Could you go and make the kid happy? I'm going, yeah. Listen, I'll chip in. I'll buy her another goldfish. I'll buy her a little aquarium. I'm not going to the fucking.
No, but that's the point, though, right? Like, you never say no because you never know where it's going to take you,
Well,
right? Like,
I took up golf to meet Bobby Orr. Right. Bobby Orr was my hero, my idol. My father was my hero, but Bobby Orr was my idol. I love Bobby Orr. And, I go to see him every chance I got, and I wanted to meet him. And so 14 golf tournaments, and he does a lot of charity work before I got to meet him. So the starter comes up, I'm on like the third, fourth hole, and says, Bobby's here. And I go, all right, I'll be right back. And the guys I'm golfing with, you're a celebrity, where you going? I'll be back. I'm the celebrity. I can do whatever I want. Go ahead. So I drive and I'm driving. I go, oh man, I'm going to meet him. I'm like a little kid at Christmas. And I'm driving down the first hole. It was at Ballymead because I was there 2 days ago. And I go, this is where I met Bobby. You know what I mean? So I've called him like 5 times in the last 2 days just because I was golfing with Tom Johnson's son. You know what I mean? And you remember Tom, the coach?
Yeah.
So I'm driving down and I'm screaming, Bobby Orr, Bobby fucking Orr. And I pull up to him and he goes, Lenny Clark, Lenny fucking Clark. And I go, you know me? He goes, Lenny, I've been dying to meet you. I go, Bobby, I took up this sport just so I could fucking meet you. And he goes, well, we can't keep doing this. I go, what do you mean? Did I say something wrong? He goes, no, they're hitting into us. So after that, am I still on? Did I turn it? Is my volume? Okay, good. So we meet after the match and we on a round, and we get to talking, and we have been best friends for over 25 years.
oh, that's so cool.
I mean, on my honeymoon, they stole my golf clubs.
Acquired it, Your Honor.
Yeah, right. And Bobby says, man, it was in the paper. He goes, I heard your golf clubs get stolen. He said, well, come by the house. So I go over to the house, and in his garage are the old locker rooms from the Garden.
No.
Oh, sick.
Esposito, Pine McKenzie, Sanderson.
Cashman,
Every one of them is filled with golf clubs. So he starts opening. He goes, you'll need this, 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 you'll need that. Hey, try this club. I think you're going to like that one. And then he gives me this bag. Bobby Orr, the bag. Bobby Orr, one of those big pro bags.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he signs on it to Lenny Clark with much respect and admiration, your pal Bobby Orr. And I go, this is the greatest day of my life, man. So, and I suck at golf. Still suck. I always suck. But I got a Bobby Orr. I don't. So people go, you're going to use it? I'm like, that's leaving the fucking house.
Right.
I had a kid make one of those stands with the glass. And
yeah.
It's my prized possession, you know. So I'm going home to the vineyard, and I'm at the ferry, and it starts pouring rain. And I'm fat at the time, real fat. So I take my shirt off and I put it over the bag so the ink won't run.
Yeah.
And a cop comes over to me and he thinks I'm some fucking rum-dum. He goes, where'd you get that? I go, Bobby O. He goes, I can see the Bobby O. I go, what'd you steal it? I go, no, he gave it to me. He goes, oh yeah, and I took the shirt off. I go, see, read what it says, read. He goes, well, that's pretty fucking cool. I go, yes, it is. If you don't mind, I'm going to put the shirt back on the bag. He goes, well, when you get on the boat, could you put your shirt back on? I go, that's not going to be a problem. Some big, fat, crazy guy walking around with a Bobby O bag. Oh, but I mean, I'll tell you a story. He hates when I talk about him because he's one of those guys who does everything for everyone,
right.
but he doesn't want anyone to know about it.
Right.
You know, like Bobby, say there's a charity it's real important to him or something. One of the old Canadian players got hurt. You know, he'll donate $1 million, but he doesn't want anyone to know.
Right.
I'll donate 50. I want everyone to know. So, and I golf with him, you know, and he's laughing so hard he can't even hit. I mean, and I'm not trying to make him laugh. He goes, you know, Lenny, it's not so much you're funny as is you're crazy. I go, yes, certifiable, insane. I have papers. So, where was I? I lost. Oh, geez. Oh, Johnny Peasy comes to me and says, Len, he says, I have a cousin who's dying. And he's on his last week or two, you know. He goes, could you have Bobby sign a picture of him? I go, absolutely. So I called Bobby. I said, Bobby, there's this kid who's dying. He's only got a couple weeks left. Would you mind signing a picture? He goes, give me the fucking kid's number. You'll fuck this all up. I swear to God, the next day he shows up with Dunkin' Donuts, like coffee for 50, you know, muffins, donuts, Bobby Orr shirt, a Bobby Orr stick, a puck, everything, pictures, and he gives it to the kid. And he sits with the kid for 45 minutes. So then he goes, I got to go now. And he goes, okay, Bob. So he goes out to the car, and the kid goes to the window and watch, and he goes, this has been the greatest day of my life. And he passed away like 2 weeks later. And Bobby sent like the most incredible flowers
I can only
you've ever
imagine.
seen. And this is all just by being the great guy he is. You
Right.
know what I mean?
There's no one better.
No, none better.
My
No one
mother
better.
is on her deathbed. My 8 brothers, we're all crying. This blows, man. And I go, I got to leave. So I go outside to pray, you know, and have a cigar. And I call Bobby on. I go, Bobby, my mother's on her deathbed. He goes, this is the worst thing ever happened to me in my life. He goes, where is she? I said, Cambridge City. He goes, well, he says, we have to decide to pull the plug or she's going to be on a respirator for life, for what little life she has left. He said, pull the plug. I said, what? He says, pull the plug. He says, she's a tough old bird, Lenny. I know who she is. She'll make it. So I go back and I come in and I'm all jazzed up. I said, did you talk to God? And I go, God was busy, but I got Bobby Orr. He says, what? They said, what'd he say? He said, pull the plug. And they all went, really? I said, pull the plug now. And they came in, they pulled the plug. And she comes out of it. And I go, oh my God almighty. It was just, while she was the day before, she's in there and it's just about gone, you know. And I had to go to New York City for an audition. So I went to take the train. And she was in a coma at the time, you know. I sat with her that night before I went to New York the next day. And I said, Mom, everyone's gone. It's just me and you. You know, I love you. And I'm being very selfish because I don't want you to go. And I mean, you've had a long, suffering life, so if you see the light, go to the light, go to the light, be with Dad. You've done everything for us you possibly could. I mean it. We love you dearly, and I don't want you to go, but you see the light, walk into the light. So I'm on the train. Someone calls me. I'm in New Haven. They go, Ma's awake. She's awake. She's up, and she wants to see you. I got off the train and got on the one train going back to Boston. So I get back there, and I walk in the room, and she goes, you tried to kill me. You told me to walk into the light. What is wrong with you? So after I talk with Bobby, the next day he shows up, Dunkin' Donuts, coffees, pictures, signs autographs for all the nurses in the place, everyone. I mean, then he comes in and goes, Jane, what are we going to do with this guy? He's the greatest.
He's unreal.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable.
And things like that mean more to me than an Oscar or an Emmy, because this is, I try to model myself after half the man that he is. I'm not talking about hockey. To me, he's the greatest hockey player in the world.
Greatest ever.
I don't know if you heard the John Candy story, but I'm at a Toronto Comedy Festival, and the Argonauts are playing. And I'm with Mr. T. Right?
Mr. T don't get no ticket.
Mr. Green drinking out of a goblet. And we pull up to the stadium, and we got the kids are going, you're the best. You could have beat Rocky. That son of a bitch. He never beat you in real life. He's going, I understand you, brother. So we go in, and we're walking, and people can't believe it's Mr. T. It's just crazy. Everyone knows Mr. T. And as we're walking, I see John Candy walking at me, and I go, oh, my fucking God. And he gets about 2 feet away. He goes, hi, Lenny. I go, John, you know me? He goes, big fan of yours, Len. I go, oh, my God, John, I can't believe this. He said, what are you doing in town? I go, well, I'm here at a comedy festival. And he goes, and I gave him the hotel. He says, oh, man, I'll try to get by. He goes, you want to meet Gretzky? I go, yeah. Well, he goes, I'm like a commissioner of some sort of the Canadian Football League. It's some big job. Maybe not the commission, but some job like that. And Bruce McDowell, remember the Bruce McDowell? He owned the Kings. Or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's in there, and Gretzky's right there. So John says to me as we're walking, he goes, don't fuck around. I go, I won't, John, I won't. So we go, and Wayne gets up. He goes, Wayne, this is my friend from the States, Lenny Clark, great actor, funny comedian. He goes, hey, how you doing, Wayne? I go, what an honor. What an amazing thing to meet the second greatest hockey player that ever lived. And Candy whacks me in the back of the head. And he goes, you're from Boston, right? I go, yeah. And he goes, they call him the great one. I says, you are the great one. But Bobby was the greatest. And when Bobby dies, you'll be the greatest great one. But until then, and he was such a sweet. And I ended up doing the Kimmel show with him as the guest.
Oh, that's fucking
wow.
Yeah. And so...
That's like when I told Mario Lemieux. I met him at Michael Ruzzioni's thing last year.
Yeah.
And I said, well, were you the third best player ever? And everyone's like, I go, what? You had Bobby Orr, number one.
Yeah.
The Gretzky guy did some things, and then you. That ain't bad.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
He was great. He was awesome. So
At that same festival, I saw this comedian from New York walking by, and I believe I was still drinking back then. And yes, I was. Yeah, I was drinking, doing everything. And I see him go. So at the St. Elizabeth's Hotel, I think, in Toronto. It's huge. And they have this amazing lobby. And so I see the kid. So I go running. I hop up on a couch and fly at him and take him down. And he goes, what the fuck? I go, hi, Lenny. I turn around, go to your house there. He goes, nice tackle. Oh, my God, you're Gordial. Hey, Mr. Gordial, how you doing? He goes, I said, we're doing a show right in this lobby tonight. If you want to come, you come as my guest. He says, yeah, I'll bring my wife. And I go, oh, well, I'm kind of dirty. He goes, you don't fucking think she's heard shit out of me? We'll go. So he came to the show.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then I ended up coaching with him against Bob. Well, it was against Bobby and Cordy. It was me and some other famous guy. I don't even know, but it was crazy. It was just insane.
I met Gordy, yeah. Grand Rapids, yeah. I was stretching in the hallway. He came walking by to go down, and yeah. It was awesome. Shook his hand. He got paws like this.
You know, and you guys will know, when I do these celebrity events with all these famous athletes, I rate them hockey first. Greatest guys, so
Yes.
down to earth, tough players, great camaraderie. I mean, second is football. Football, amazing. The third is baseball, because you can get some prima donnas, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And fourth is basketball. Now, because a lot of these guys they don't care about the fans. Some of them are thugs. Let's face it, And in the old days, the NBA was, you got Russell and Cousy and Havlicek. I call Bob Cousy once a month, just because he gave me his number, and we talk about books and shit. Lenny, do you read? And I go, not a lot. And he gave me this book, King of Thieves, which is what the Ben Affleck movie was based on when they robbed Fenway Park.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The town.
The town, yeah.
The town.
The town.
Yeah, that's it.
How are you not in that?
Well, Ben didn't.
Just that movie, I mean.
Well, listen, Ben Affleck ends up robbing
Fenway Park, yep.
and stealing a bus. I stole the fucking bus in real life. So fuck you, Ben. You should at least take a look at me as maybe another bus guy who says, take that one, Ben.
You didn't steal a bus.
I never met him. And I don't think I talk shit about him, may have years ago, But hey, we're from
Let
the
it
same.
go, Ben.
We're from the same.
We're
Yeah.
from the same
Jesus.
hometown. Look at you, Ben. You're an Academy Award winner. You're filthy rich. You're tall. You're handsome as hell. Have a giant cock. Isn't that enough for you, Ben? Isn't that enough?
Is that verified, the cock?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just
yeah.
making sure.
You know what?
Well, he did have Jennifer Garner and J-Lo.
And J-Lo again.
Probably
Yeah.
a bunch of others.
Yeah, and J-Lo's not going to accept a small cock.
No, I've heard that about her.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't met her,
Jenny
but-
from the cock.
Yeah.
You played football, Matt. You just talked about tackling. Didn't you play football in Cambridge?
I played football, Cambridge Latin.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, they wanted me to go to college because I was the president of my class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. 8th grade president, I won. They had 7 recounts before I got a unanimous. Because the kids were tired. Yeah, there was one kid who, I don't want to run against him. I said, it's all right. Yeah, I take the vote and you win. But I voted for myself. And finally, after 5 or 6 recounts, the nun goes, okay, he's the president. I hope you're happy with yourselves, right? So I was a bad boy. So I went to public school then, and I turned my locker into a bar. So I had ice, a cooler that fit in perfectly, filled with beers, ice cold beers, tequila, whiskey, bourbon. I mean, anything you're gonna, you going to trigonometry, you might need a shot of tequila. So actually, I'm elected president of freshman class, sophomore class, junior class, senior class president. So. And I won by a landslide. You know why? Because I was good to the nerdy kids.
Right.
If I saw someone fucking with the nerdy guys, hey, this kid's fucking brilliant. You may need him someday.
Yeah,
Don't fuck
right.
with this kid. What are you going to do? I'll kick your ass. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And the nerdy kids go, oh, Lenny, thank you so much. My pleasure. So I'm in this fucking algebra class. I suck at math more than you ever know. I suck at math so bad. So, I mean, I could add, subtract, multiply, and divide. I mean, you give me a big thing of Coke, I could put out an even line for 600 people. No questions asked. But I knew nothing about algebra. I go, what do I need fucking algebra for? So
That's a word problem. Lenny has a pound of Coke. He has 60 friends. How many ounces in each line? If they're all going to do 3.
So one of the nerdy kids that I had, it's a genius kid, the teacher was a drinker. And he once you gave, all right, start the test. And he'd nod off or he'd go out for a shot from the closet. I went to the pool, the one Memorial Pool at a high school, and I got a bunch of bathing suits, and I took the strings out of them and tied them up. I took my test. I sat by the window. I threw it out the window, and I put a little push pin on the end of the bathing suit. And the kids, 3 or 4 of them down there, and then they pull it out. I pull it back up, and I aced the fucking test, and I needed it to graduate. And I took them all out for beers. I mean, is it? I've never had beer. It's all right. It's okay. You deserve it. I mean, but oh my good God. So then you mentioned football. I played football. I was all right, but I was also the most penalized player in Massachusetts football history. Penalties in a quarter, a half, in a game, full game. I mean, yeah, because we were getting, my junior year we were 8-2. My senior year we were 2-8, and we were getting bowled over by schools like Brockton, Boston Latin, Boston Tech. I mean, these guys were they were kicking my ass. You know, I remember Boston English. These two giant black tackle and guard. They go, "You want to take him out this time?" No, I got him last time. You take him out. Boom! It was so bad they were helping me up. I go, man, we give you credit. You're hanging in there. I'm on Queer Street. I don't know where I am. So
that explains a lot. Yes.
So I lied on an application to Wake Forest because they told me you had to go to school. So I applied to University of Hawaii, University of Florida, University of Miami, University of Arizona. Nope. So Wake Forest, I said I was like really fast, like I could do a 40 and like, some stupid, like the combine. And I had great hands. So a guy from Wake Forest shows up at the high school. And he's going to look at a couple other people, too, like we had some monsters there. And he goes, put your hand up. I put his hand up. He put my hand up. He goes, no, you'll never play for us. You'll probably never play for anyone. And I go, okay. So that's gone. So I'm out of luck. And I got to go to college. They're begging me to go to college. So I applied to American International College in Springfield.
AIC.
AIC.
Almost in college.
That's right. That's right. So I write on the thing that I'm black. That's a joke. I get a full ride. And my father wasn't talking much, and he goes, what have you done? I go, what have you done? What makes you think I did something? He knew. And my mother goes, I'm so excited. Wait a minute. They're paying for everything. I go, yeah, isn't that great? Go, something's wrong. I remember my poor mother, we went out to Springfield. We went to like a Kmart or something. We bought stuff for the room. And I had a room with one other kid. And the second day he's crying because I said, why wreck my perfect record? I turned he had his parents come. My son can't live with this guy. And I go, hey, I'm really sorry. He was from Uxbridge. I forget his name. One of those things you blank out on purpose. So I turned the room into a bar, stripper poles, big TVs. And I had every drink you could imagine, And I got elected president of my freshman class. Huh?
No, wait a minute. You show up. They didn't question anything? Because that was back, like now you could just say, I identify that way and you'd be all set.
Yeah, you'd be good, yeah.
Well, we're only halfway through the story.
Okay.
So I get this, I get first year algebra, and the guy had tattoos from Auschwitz, I mean, yeah, this is what we're talking about 40 years ago. 40 years ago, right? So I would bring him coffee every day. He goes, you don't have to do this. I said, no, it's my pleasure. And we'd be talking, and he'd be talking about Hitler, and one day I yelled, Hitler was a cocksucker. He was. So I was this guy's favorite fucking student. And he goes, the numbers are a bit off, but you tried and you put your effort into it. I give you a C. I go, fucking A. It's like an A to me. So I go back for my sophomore year. So I go back for my sophomore year. I get elected president of my sophomore class, and then the Black Student Union wants to call me in for a big award. So I walk in. I walk into this auditorium. It's all black people. And I walk in, they go, who are you? Like the janitor? And I go, no, I'm Lenny Clark. I go, the Lenny Clark? And I go, the only Lenny Clark I know. And they go, you're white. And I go, last time I checked. and no laughter, yeah. And that week was, I think they call it the Bakey decision, where prejudice against white people. I forget. I wish I knew more about it, but it's all gone now. But they said, you took away a deserving young black student's admissions to this school. I go, wait, well, hold. Hey, I'm a deserving white student. My parents are both sick. They don't have money. I come from a poor family. I go, well, you know, and that reverse discrimination. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was on the cover of Time and Newsweek. I read it that morning taking a shit. I go, reverse discrimination is a horrible thing. And they go, all right, if you go away, we won't press charges. I said, deal. So I left the school and I went to UMass Boston. I was there for almost a month before they realized I wasn't enrolled. But I was staying in a couple of my friends' rooms. I'd change rooms and I'd go to classes and this is a nice school. Oh, she's beautiful. You know, it was just, and then they asked me to leave there. And I finally got into UMass Boston with some political help and some famous people. And it took me like 6 years to graduate, but I did. I graduated. Yeah.
College graduate.
Oh, college
That's what it says in the yearbook.
My mother said, they can never take that away from you. I
Took
go,
my buddy
"That's
Nicky
right."
8.
They'll never take it away from me because I can't find it. But it was all proof. It's, you know, and yeah, man, pretty wild. Yeah.
Now, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring this up because it's coming up. Comics Come Home.
Oh my God.
Right, November 2nd this year.
I hope. I mean, I don't.
I think that was the date. I didn't get the call again this year. I've been waiting for a long time, but what an amazing event. I mean, what is it? 28 years?
28 years, I think.
Yeah.
You know, one year I couldn't make it. I was filming something in L.A. Another year, I was on the John Larroquette show, and we filmed late Friday night. I got the red eye. Matter of fact, I was so late, I went to the airport dressed as a cop, big fat cop in my bag, and I had a gun in my holster. And they go, "What are you, out of your mind?" They go, "Oh, this isn't real." And they go, "We're just gonna take that." So now I fly, and I'm thinking, what am I gonna do for a gun? You know, because I had my clothes. I'm gonna come out as the cop from the Larroquette show, right? So I go to Jack's Joke Shop. It was still open at the time, and I got one of those fake guns, and they had red on the ends. I spray painted that black, looked like a real gun. And I did the show, and oh my God, I mean, I can't believe it. And I got run on a plane to go back, but I've done it every year but one, and it is the most exciting thing, you know, because we've all gone to the Garden for games,
Right?
But and we've gone Garden maybe to see acts, you know, but to be on the Garden stage and have it jam packed. And
So
everyone, you're screaming your name out. I'm going, oh my God, yeah, this is unbelievable. And of course, every year you're going to come up with new material, you know, because there's a lot of repeat people. And, you know, I usually get it together like the day of, you know what I mean? Because I'm scrambling, you know what I mean? What did I do? You know, 26 years I've done it. Did I ever do that? How about the thing I did the third year? Can I take that off? No one's going to remember 23 years. I go, are they? And if someone does, I go, what a great memory.
You must be a big fan.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Because this year Bill Burr's doing it.
Bill Burr's doing it.
Bill
right?
Burr is the best.
Bobby
He's
Kelly.
Unbelievable.
Bobby Kelly.
I tell you
Bobby
about
Kelly's funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
incredible. Bill Burr, let me tell you a thing about him. One of the greatest guys I've met in comedy, because if a comedian's down and out or someone needs help, he drives up from New York with Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox.
Drove up from Kevin Knox.
I had to follow him on that show. He walked in to that Kevin Knox show. I think I've told you the story. I'm about to go on, Mike. You know, Mike, you're next. And then he yells down, Mike, Billy's going to go on, and then you.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, fucking great.
Yeah.
And so I actually got myself pissed off, right?
Yeah.
And he goes up and does his thing. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm following him.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
And I put in my head, Mike wouldn't do this to me if he didn't think I could do it.
Right.
And I went up and just rode that wave of energy.
There you go. That's it.
Bill Burr
Yeah.
stayed in the room to watch because he felt bad
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
he got thrown on. And afterwards he said, man, that was really great. And I was like, fuck, really? And he goes, yeah, I felt bad. I jumped on in front of you, but that's a testament to what kind of person he is.
Oh, he's solid.
Right?
Solid. The guy, I mean, he helped out Kevin Knox. He helped out a couple other comedians. I don't want to mention their names because it's not my place, you know.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. You call him and say, Bill, we're doing something for the... if he can't make it, he sends a bunch of dough. I mean, he's incredible.
Right.
And, God, Fenway Park. I mean, you know, I never even thought of doing Fenway Park. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
And
We were there.
Yeah, we were.
and
Yeah.
he's
I've
just-
seen him 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
He's fantastic. He is no doubt. But as good as a comedian is, he's an even better guy. He's a great guy. And
I
that
would
Bobby
say-
Kelly,
I would-
Kelly makes me puke laughing.
Bobby
He's
Kelly's
funny, man.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. I would say the same thing about you.
Well, I
Just saying. Not because you're on the Zebras, but
they're chirping.
seriously.
I appreciate that more than you know, Mark, because I respect you and admire you as a comic and as a guy. You're a solid guy, stand-up guy. But it's just like, this all started as a joke. No one in my family was in show business,
Right.
And I was on the phone with Nick DiPaolo the other day, and because him and Colin Quinn were on a podcast, and they got talking about me, and they did a bit that I haven't done in 30 years. Called Lenny Clark's Roll the Fucking Dice. And it was, I might do it. I'll do it the next time I get on stage if I remember. Because the stroke really fucked up my short-term memory. The doctor says, well, it may affect your short-term memory. Short-term memory is not the one you need. Long-term, I don't give a shit. I'm trying to forget stuff. Get out. Put this in there. But, and it's just, it brings out the best in you because, one, it's your hometown. Two, we're dealing with the Giants, the new guys that are the Giants now. And, hey, look, I'm glad I'm on the show. I don't care. Put me in the middle. I don't want to open. I don't want to close me in the middle.
Who are the comedians you looked up to? Because everyone asks the comedian, who is your favorite comedians, or who are you? I love the way Buddy Hackett told the story, right? No one better. Keep the duck. You had Richard Pryor, just absolutely amazing.
How about this? No, to meet them and become friends with them.
Amazing.
Like Rodney, I did 2 movies with Rodney. George Carlin. We met at AIC.
Oh, no kidding.
Sold out show.
I've seen Joe.
I went up in a field house roof, pulled up in a skylight, hung as low as and it dropped. Landed on my ass. Oh God! And I go, oh my God, George Carlin. He goes, and you must be someone sneaking into the show. Yeah, are you okay with that?
That's how you met him.
He goes, someone drops through a skylight to sneak into a show for me. I'm glad to have you. He goes, what's your name? I said, Lenny. He goes, well, Lenny, go out and enjoy the show. And I went out, and then we started flying from coast to coast together. And I remember we're in first class, we're in the first flights, and he's at the window, and I'm at the aisle. And then you have the curtains, So they bring out lobster, you know what I mean? We're having lobster. And I pull the curtain back. I'm never going to be able to finish all this lobster. And he fucking laughed. He was laughing almost all, and here's my number. He gave me my number, and he would call me out of the blue sometimes. And I was with the amazing Jonathan, and we were pretty fucking high. And Jonathan goes, Lenny, I always liked you. I respect you as a comedian. I thought you were a great guy. But when George Carlin called you worried about your heart attack or something, and we're listening to it on the phone machine. He goes, how'd you get pick up? I go, oh, no, I'm way too high. He goes, he gets high. Yeah, but I'm, no, it's nice. We can play it again, So I kept all those, and then, oh my God.
There's a plane story that I've heard from a few people about you were on a plane. I think it was either Jimmy Tingle or Jackie Flynn you were with. Kenny Rogerson, that's who told me.
Yeah.
Who's one of the best.
Oh yeah. Oh.
When they came over the loudspeaker.
Yep.
So
they go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We fly in New York. It'll be a short trip, and we'll be having the flight done by Captain Colby. I go, not Crash Colby. And there's 12 comedians, and the regular passengers will laugh and eat harder. And sometimes you see the gas from the air conditioner. Yeah. It's gas. They're gonna gas us. And now the stewardesses are flipping out, and they don't know who's talking. They don't know. So I just shut up for the rest of the flight. But someone went on. Someone went on the internet. That's why I try to stay off it. That was Sam Kinison. He goes, no. Sam heard that story from me. And
that's right.
Yeah. And then people go, it is true because you did it. Like when we were going down to audition. Well, I wasn't even auditioning. It was Steve Sweeney was going down to audition for Billy Crystal.
Okay.
And I ended up getting on, and Billy Crystal says, my God, you're really funny. He goes, not for this show, but very funny.
Not for this show.
For this show.
God, yeah. Oh my God, I forgot all about that. You know?
That was one of my favorite
God.
stories. And we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the Godfather, Don Gavin.
God, I got to call him. I got to call him when I leave. I talked to him the other day.
Yeah. One of the, I mean, for me, the funniest person alive. I mean, he throws more material away at a bar talking after a show than any of us will ever write. Just amazing.
And he's brilliant. I think it was Tingle. He's got more degrees than the thermometer. You know, brilliant guy. You know, masters all the time. School teacher. I remember we'd be up late at night till the sun woke up, and then and those fucking birds. I go, you know. Now when I got straight and clean and sober, hey, you fucking birds, get up, let's go. Got a lot of work to do today. Get up. I was screaming, well, that's how sick I am. So Don Gavin comes into the Comedy Connection. And we talk, hey, oh yeah, Don, I'm Lenny. And I go up and I have a great set, just fucking great set. And he goes up, he's up there 2 minutes, and it's like, Lenny who? That good. I'm going, my God. So I go up to him after the show, I go, hey man, that was terrific. How long you been doing this? He goes, it's the first time I've ever done it. I go, you're a fucking liar. And Don goes, nice meeting you too. So he goes this way, and I go, so we're not pals, you know, and like it was envy, jealousy, anger. You know, I'm new. We're new at this. I had it made. I was the top dog. Well, it was Sweeney, and then I started blowing by all the guys that were there before me. You know, when I started doing comedy, there was only like 100 comedians, even the famous stars and regular guys working the circuit. Now there's only about 100 guys that aren't comedians. Everyone's a fucking comedian.
Right.
You know? TikTok and there's some My Touch and Your Space and all that shit.
My Touch.
I mean, they
Podcasts.
Yeah, right.
Are we live on the My Touch right now? I want to be. If we're not, let's get on the My Touch.
But I tell you, Don Gavin, I'm doing a show one night with this wrestler from Tufts, Jewish guy. I think his name was Klein. Big guy. Was, you know, you wouldn't want to fool with this guy, but he wasn't one of those guys who would beat you up. He would go, why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Right. He was a very brilliant kid. And it was me, him, and Gav. And we're doing a show at some place. I don't even know where it was. We were both high at the time. And there was a little fence that surrounded the stage, you know? And this kid comes up behind me, and he's about to put me in a choke lock, and Gavin leaps over the fence and escorts him off the stage. And we weren't even buddies at the time. And I said, hey, man, that was pretty cool. And I'm looking at the big muscle-bound guy. I'm going, for a little help. A little help for the fucking guy who's, you know, hosting. And I ended up going home with Gav, and we spent about 2 days together, nonstop, no sleep. And we became the very best of friends. And I admire him and respect him, not only as a comedian, but as a man. He's just like you say, he's, you know, I put him up against anyone.
Right.
He went out to the San Francisco comedy competition, came in second. He's only been doing it a couple of years. So he goes, tell me, the guy who beat you, is he good? He goes, oh, Lenny, he was real good. So I go out the next year, we go out, and I do the show, and it's not going so well. A lot of difference, you know. And Bobby Slayton, who I'm dear friends with now, gave me the light. And I thought he was being a prick. Because I had no idea of timing at the time. I didn't know how much time I do. But I'm waiting for the big laugh to get off. So I get off, and I walk into the dressing room. Someone else is on, and I grab Slayton and put him up against the lockers. I go, you prick, what's wrong with you, man? I'm trying to fucking make it out here. And the guy goes, you better put him down. I go, I'll deal with you in a minute. And he taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, and I look up. It's Mike Pritchett. He's about 6'6", solid guy. He had won the contest to beat Gavin. And I go, oh. I put Slayton down and like there's the bells and let me fix that. Let me make that nice. And he goes, my name is Michael Pritchard. I go, I know who you are. And he goes, I have no idea who you are, but I'm sure there's some good in you. Because he was the nicest guy. We became great friends. And I thank God for the interweb or like Facebook and stuff, because you get to keep in touch with people like him, you know. And I mean, there was, like I was talking with Nicky DiPaolo the other day, and he called and asked me for Mike's number. He says, I just want to thank him for how good he was to me, you know. And Mike is a good eye for talent, you know. I said, Mike, I got this guy. I think he's pretty funny. He goes, oh, shit. He goes, you know, Len, most of these people, they're great guys. All great guys. But they suck. They're not working my club. I go, oh, God. You know?
Yeah, no. He's honest.
Brutally honest. Brutally honest.
He's honest, and I always tell that people call like their first time at Giggles doing a guest set, and they'll be like, what's Mike like? I go, he'll tell you. He'll tell you if you're ready. He'll tell you come back in a year, or he'll tell you you might want to sell your equipment. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, he's honest. And he gave me my first paying gig 3 months after I got on stage.
I mean, comedians are all like refereeing, you know.
Joe Rogan.
It is.
He gave Joe Rogan his first break.
Yeah.
You know? And when we went out, Joe Rogan, I love that kid. He asked me to do the podcast. I go, geez, Joe, I can't. I'm kind of busy. Okay. He calls me like 6 months later. Lenny, can you do the podcast? I go, Joe, I'd love to, but I'm filming. So he calls me about a year later and says, Lenny, why won't you do my fucking podcast? I said, Joe, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't know what a podcast is. You stupid fuck. Lies us out. We do the show, and it gets like 1 million hits, I don't know. And by the time we got from Burbank to Santa Monica, there were kids, 3 kids in a car go, hey, you're Lenny Clark. And I go, are you from back home? He goes, no, we just saw you in the Rogan podcast. I go, it's already on? He goes, it's live. We watched it live. You were fucking terrific. I'm going, oh my God. So then I went back and did another one. And then I did his club.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this club.
The mothership.
He's awesome.
Oh, he's amazing. And the greatest guy. And generous to a fault. I mean, I got the check from working there a week. I went, oh, shit. I go, there's something wrong. I go, Mike, you got to call. I go, call him up and see if this is, I think they made a mistake on my check. And Mike's laughing. There's no mistake. He doesn't make mistakes.
That's good.
Whoa, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and Gav grew up with my older brother in West Roxbury. Yeah, my brother Teddy, who's was the Bruins dentist. He just retired after 31 years.
No kidding.
Yeah, he worked on Elton John. I told you the story coming up. Of course, I'm probably breaking a HIPAA law, but fuck it.
Hey, I'd like to get that HIPAA guy and break his balls. No, not break, not yell at him. Just put his balls on the table and smash him with a hammer. Who the fuck? You know that HIPAA
Who is
law?
HIPAA?
The HIPAA law killed more people than helped. Killed people.
I agree.
I can't tell you what's wrong with the HIPAA.
Yeah.
You know, grab him by the fucking shoe. Tell me what's fucking wrong with him, man.
Well, when I met Gav,
Yeah.
I went to see him at Nick's.
Yeah.
And I went up after and I said, Don Gavin, Mark Riley. And I said, I'm Teddy Riley's brother. And he was like, Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley's pretty smart. You know what? Here's how smart your brother was. I'd get like a 95 on a quiz. I'd be like, oh, I got him. He'd have a 99, that fucker. And he always said that. And I said, well, I think I want to do comedy. And he goes, why? And I go, because I like making people laugh. And he goes, all right, I'll let you. That was God's honest truth.
Yep.
And we sat down at the bar.
Yep.
And at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I stumbled out of there because I was still drinking at the time.
Yep.
And that was my introduction to him. And I mean, he's helped everyone. He helped everyone.
Oh, he's
amazing. Yeah.
And I asked him, Don, I said, we've been up for a couple of days. You're going to school now? He's putting on the tie. Yeah, I got to go teach. I go, is it fun? He goes, sometimes it can be really fun. The other day I asked the kids in the class, what is irony? And a kid raised his hand. He goes, it's the flattening of an entire town. He is so... He's right. I'm calling him on the ride home.
And you know what's funny? Well, he actually called me last week, and I haven't called him back yet. What's funny is whenever I tell a Gav story, I can't not do his voice.
Oh, I know.
I can't.
No.
I have to do his voice.
Yeah, big guy. All right. Yeah.
You know, I have to. It's just one of those things.
That's awesome.
I mean, we actually, I think, turned this into a Joe Rogan podcast because he does the 5-hour thing. I think we did probably at least 2.
We have.
And we could keep going.
No. The kids got to get home.
Yeah, no.
You got a great crew in here. They got to get home or maybe get laid or something good. They don't need to listen to my happy horse shit. That's enough. I'll save something for the next time.
Well, Well, Len,
been
thanks
excellent.
for coming on,
Oh,
man. This
Mark,
is-
thanks for having
I
Gino.
can't- yeah,
Thank
Lenny,
you,
this was
buddy.
incredible.
We said it was gonna. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I knew it was gonna be a lot of
oh,
fun.
I had a blast.
And,
I was laughing when you sent me the, well, it's really hard to find. I'm thinking, what the fuck, am I that old? You want me to take an Uber? So they don't, the Uber couldn't find this place.
Well, he said, I'm going to talk in like an air traffic
Yeah,
controller.
air
And you
traffic.
were like, how fucking old am I that I need help?
Oh my God! We were in Salt Lake City shooting Touched by an Angel. I had the day off, so we went to a movie, and the little girl goes, "Are you elderly?" And this is 30 years ago. Yes, I am. 2 elderlies, and I've never paid anything but elderly prices since that day. Gav himself. He's golfing. They go, so you want the elderly rate? He goes, what the fuck's wrong with you? How old do you think I am? I go, Gav, take the cut.
Take the fucking, Oh, man. Well, this was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Episode 30. I mean, one for the
Episode
books.
30.
My ribs are
Episode
hurting
30.
from laughing. That was
Episode
awesome.
30. And so we want to thank everyone for watching. We want to remind everyone, social medias. We have the Instagram, the Facebook, the TikTok. We're going to find the My Touch.
Yeah.
We're going to get on My Touch.
Yeah.
My touch, your touch.
Like,
a
like,
lot of touches out there.
like and subscribe on all of them. Touch us on all of them. We don't care. And chirpingzebras.com is our website. You can find all our merchandise on there, like the shirt that Gino's wearing tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's
And look at that. That's nice.
yeah. We get the
The
jerseys.
pumpkins.
And we want to thank AOA Studios, all the boys here that do a
And the
great
crew,
job.
the amazing
Crew.
crew.
Yep. Cam Z, Mike, and of course Josh
Josh.
Dolan. Josh
Crazy
Dolan.
Josh Dolan, we
We had
love.
him. He was he had us live on the TikTok.
Really?
I'm gonna go be live on the My Touch. Probably be alone, but who cares? So like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and we want to thank our sponsor, the Referees Crease.
Yes.
One-stop shop for all your referee
And if
needs.
you'd like to be a sponsor, this could be time to get in on the ground floor.
Yes.
This shit's gonna go. I never thought the interweb would work, but hey, once again, I was wrong. But this podcast,
Len, you have 5 billionaires in your phone. I'm just saying. Maybe drop a dime. Maybe one of them wants to sponsor a hockey
I didn't hear
podcast,
Jacob's name.
You know,
oh no, last story, and we'll get. I became friendly with Jeremy Jacobs, the son. And he introduced me to Dad, and it was very nice. One night we were in a booth, and they said, we'll have steak. And we don't have any steak. And someone said, there's Mr. Jacobs' steak. I was, yeah, Mr. Jacobs' steak will be great. He'll be happy we ate it. And they bring out steak with the birth date of the steak and the death date of the steak. Yeah, with sauces and everything. Unbelievable. Yeah, and Mike's going, this is the best steak I ever had. And I go, oh, I'm glad he's dead, this cow. And so I met Jeremy, the son, through charity events, because they're very charitable people. And he's getting married. So he calls me up and says, Len, would you officiate my wedding? I go, really? my wife's crazy about you, and we think it'd be perfect. I go, okay. He goes, we're doing it in Switzerland. I go, get out. Yeah, we'll fly you over to Switzerland, and we'll go up in the mountain. Can you ski? I go, yeah. We'll go up to the mountain, and then you perform the ceremony, and then we'll all ski down, and we'll just have a blast for a couple of days in Switzerland. I go, oh, my God, yeah. And so then Mike says, we're taking your sister to Aruba. I went, oh. God, I love my sister. She's in a wheelchair. Hasn't left the house in 40 years. So I called Jeremy. Jeremy, you're not going to believe this. Can you move the wedding? And he goes, Lenny, I understand. Family first. I go, I love my sister. She's great. She's MS, and she had the greatest time of her life. First time she's put her feet in the ocean water in 60 years.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty wild. That was great.
That's awesome.
So we left on a good note.
We did.
And all you fuckers that haven't been watching, call your friends. Say, what are you, fucking new? You gotta get on. You gotta go check with the Chirping Zebras. Get a Chirping Zebras shirt. Well, then we'll get fucking mugs and we'll have doilies. When was the last time you had a fucking doily in the house? Get yourself a chirping zebra doily and maybe some fucking old Irish lace fucking curtains with chirping zebras so when you close the windows, they're fucking chirping up a storm. Do yourself a favor. Get in on the ground floor, you fuckers.
Listen to Lenny Clark.
We got a new ad.
Yep. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time right here on the Chirping Zebras.
To the zebras.